Hello everyone, this is your girl Diane. You're live on dDTalks. You're live on dDTalks. Please go ahead, share, tag, and invite. Let me know where you're joining us from today. We should have a very lit show. Hello everybody, welcome to this edition of dDTalks. This is your girl Diane. We are live on the show. Please let me know you can hear me. Let me know where you're joining us from today. I have a special guest who will be joining me. We are tackling an age-old conversation today. Hi Adeline, welcome. Hey guys, let me know you can see me. Let me know you can hear me. We have an interesting topic today that I want you all to tune into. I think we had a little technical issues in this building this evening, so I was running a little late. I do apologize, but we are live. And I have a guest who will be giving you his take on what the topic is all about. I know you guys have been waiting and curious to hear what the conversation is. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, or let us know what city you are joining us from tonight. And in the meantime, this is your girl Diane tuning in live from the Dagger radio station. All right, guys. I am waiting for my guest to arrive, my special guest. We are talking today about what do men really want. You know, women have been trying to figure out what men want all these damn years. All these years we're always trying to figure out what do the guys really want. So we say, you know what, instead of trying to figure it out, why don't we take it to the men themselves? Why don't they take it to the brothers and see if they can answer these questions for us? Adeline, thank you for supporting. Hey guys, please go ahead, share, tag, and invite. We are having a conversation. I'm just waiting for my guest to arrive so that we can continue this brilliant conversation. It's all about what do the men want. You know what, we women, we're curious. You know, we just want to know, what do you guys want? How can we make things happen? How can we make things happen? How can we make it happen? Can you hear me better if you're just joining? Can you hear me better? If you can hear me better, let me know how the sound is so that I can do better. All right, guys, we are talking today about the men, the brothers. We are trying to find out what do the men really want in terms of life, about things that are going on in their romantic world, what they want. And my guest is not other than Mr. Treize Quartoze. I'm waiting for him to join us. Mr. Treize, are you in the building? Are you here yet? So while we await for his arrival, I'll continue to listen to Daphne. Yes, guys. Treize, are you there? If you're there, let me know. We are going to be talking to some guys today. I want the guys to really chime in. This is your opportunity to let us know exactly what you guys want so that the women can meet your needs finally. All right? Let's figure this thing out, this age-old puzzle of what do the guys really want. Last time we had challenges having a guest join us. So I hope I'm not gonna run into that same problem today. That would just be ridiculously crazy. But Treize, I don't see you yet. Hey guys, can you write some comments so I can see? I'm not able to see the comments yet. So I don't know if you guys are writing. Please let me know. I would appreciate your feedback. I would appreciate that, guys, please. Can someone please let me know if they can hear me? Can you guys hear me? Not yet. You cannot hear me yet? Oh, okay. Hey guys. We are live. Okay, I'm waiting for my guest. It looks like my guest, we had a misunderstanding as to how he was going to come on board due to the challenge that we had the other day. But I'm just waiting for him. Guys, in the meantime, we will be talking to the brothers about what do men really want. My guest will be joining me all the way from Chicago, Quartoze. If you are around, please do send me an invite. Rosemary Love. Hey, how are you, darling? Welcome, welcome. In the meantime, guys, I saw some very interesting comments. I'm going to read up front. I'm going to read some comments that I saw on the chat that we posted earlier. Some guys really had some interesting feedback. Somebody said, let me read a comment that one of the guys wrote. No, one lady said, you know what? The guys don't even know what they want. Do the guys not know what they want? I believe that guys actually do know what they want. And this brother will address that for us so that we can put an end to this thing and we can move on. And then Sam and Bay says, Diane, good luck trying to answer this age-old question. I'll say as long as a man and a woman are at different stages in their lives as far as needs, there will always be heartache in a relationship if a relationship should come about. You know what? I understand that. But that does not answer the question for what did the man really want. Yeah, it's true. It all boils down to at what point are you trying to get into a relationship. But before we get to that point of getting into the relationship, can we even figure out what the guys want? Can the guys let us know what they want? And that's what my guest today will be addressing. My guest is Quartoze. So I'm waiting for him to join us and so we can have that conversation. Mr. Quartoze. Alright guys, so we are waiting for my guest. Quartoze is going to join us. We want to get the feedback from the guys as far as their topic is concerned. I think we had a miscommunication. He's coming on board in just a minute. We want to know what the guys think about this topic. What did they even want? So far I've had a common thread as far as what they want. I guess it's just food. They talk about food, they want love. Matter of fact, what surprised me was, you know, some of the guys got a little bit emotional. That they also want attention. They want their needs catered for. I was like, ooh, okay. We didn't know that guys had that soft side. And so, if they do, you know, let's hear it from some of the brothers. If there's any brother in the house so far, hey guys, if you're just joining me, please go ahead, share, tag, and invite. I'm just waiting for my guest to arrive shortly, and so we can continue the conversation with him. Yeah, all we want is tender loving care. Are you for real, Roland? And you know what is that TLC anyway for you guys? Because for women, TLC really means two different things. The way we interpret TLC could just, you know, is really, we are more affectionate. There are some guys who don't really want that PDA, you know, public display of affection. Maybe they just want that at home. I don't know if guys are like openly affectionate like that. If they are, let us know. This will be a good time, because TLC really means different things, right? Tender loving care. Women want to really have that love in their life, have somebody who, you know, could treat them that way. But I don't know how guys to a guy what TLC really means. And maybe if you can, if the guys can chime in and let us know what their TLC really mean. Their love languages are completely different from women, and that's where perhaps we need the middle ground to come into play, right? Come and see where. Okay, so I think he's here. So I'm adding him. I'm just waiting for him to come on board. Treize, it doesn't really matter. Uh, wow.
Hello, it is here in the building. How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Uh, Guess, can you hear? Can you hear Trescatos? Can you hear me? I don't think I am able to hear you.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you faintly.
Oh. What about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I think it may be a volume issue.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay.
It's much
So,
better. Okay.
all right. Great. Awesome. All right. I can hear you now.
Awesome, awesome,
Excellent.
awesome.
All right, guys. So we have with us in the building, all the way from Chicago. My guest is none other than Henry Fun, Tres Quartoze. You care to introduce yourself any further? You want to let the audience know who you are, maybe?
Well, I'm like you. I'm a talk show host. I reside in Chicago. We used to have our own talk show, Pillow Talk. So this topic will be a great topic. I also have another talk show, Big Debate. We talk about issues in Cameroon. So this will be an interesting topic to delve in. So I cannot wait to roll the dice and see, and let's get this thing cleared out. I think there's too much confusion
We
out there.
actually we actually miss Pillow Talk though. We miss Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk was really good.
Now we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it. We're gonna make it come back.
I know Julia has been very busy, has her hands full as well. So, but anyway,
Yeah,
glad to have
with
you.
her
Glad to
new.
have you. Glad to have you here on dDTalks. Welcome. And so, guys, let's delve right in. I know we had a late start, but we had technical issues and then misunderstanding on the media side. But Henry is here, and we want to talk about Henry. The question is very simple. What do men really want? You see, women have been trying to figure this thing out. We're constantly having misunderstandings, right? Relationships, if you look at the statistics of relationships, so many breakups, so many divorces, and with the holiday season coming, where this is like the love season, everybody's trying to get hooked up or trying to be, really taking their relationship to the next level. We are also ending a decade. So women really are trying to figure this thing out. I mean, how many years? We are still trying to figure out what do men really want. Is there an answer, a true answer to that question? So we
Yeah,
said take it to guys.
it's a very simple question. It might sound complicated, but it has a simple answer. Men are not as colorful as women think we are. We want three things in life. We want three things. Ladies, please get your pens out. It's three. It's nice. See the number three right here. We just want three simple things. And if you give us these three things, I promise you life is going to be awesome. And I'm sure most of you are going to go crazy when I give them out. But three things, and I'll list them out. The first thing, we want to be fed. We want to eat food. It's first thing. Second thing, it's 8:30 the East Central Time. We want to have good sex, right? As a second
Yeah.
thing. And the third and most important thing, we want to be left alone. Three things. You do those three
What?
things, yeah, we want to be left like when I say that, of course, there are subcategories in all of those things, right? So when I say we want to be left alone, that just means we don't want all of this nagging and all of that stuff, right? You have to know who your group of people are. For example, you want to go to the mall. A man does not really want to go shopping with you. He probably wants to give you the money and then stay home. You understand? And you go to the mall and do your shopping at home. A man can be here sitting, Didi, a man can be here. I could be sitting out here minding my business. I could be an Arsenal fan and I'm stressing that I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm in the clouds. And my wife would sit there, my girlfriend, my fiance would sit there and assume that I'm lost in thoughts because I'm thinking about another woman. Whereas I'm just struggling within the fact that I'm an Arsenal supporter. You understand? And this is why I'm saying that we just
So
need to be left alone.
why can't you just communicate that? And then talking about being left alone, why are you coupled up? Why are you in a relationship
No, when I
if
say
you
left
can't stay
alone, it
left
does
alone?
not mean that don't don't be in my space. It just means that there's time when I don't want to be bothered. You understand? Like I don't sometimes a man just wants to be he wants to just be in his little space. And as a woman, the way the good Lord created the woman, and it's only the woman that has this capability, is to understand when I just need to leave you be. You understand? So even when visitors come in, they're just like, Papa is not at home, but he's at home. He's in his quiet corner, right? And so the other one is the sex. I mean, you cannot be depriving me of sex, and then you feel that it would not go down south, right? And we want to eat. So three things, fundamental things. Women, you do those three
So the
things,
food you're
and
talking
I
about
tell
is
you,
you're saying going down south? Is that part of the food you're talking about?
no, no, no. I mean, like sex in general, from top to bottom, right?
Okay.
Yeah, from top to bottom. That those are the three essential things that we need. Three. I mean, there's
So
no
that's a
that there.
need then. So I guess in this case, we're going to talk about needs and wants then. Because if you said essential things that you need, so there's a difference between what you guys want and what you guys need, right? So the
What
sex is mandatory.
are you kidding? It, that's like it's a physiological need. It's like oxygen, right? Sex is like it's like food, right? You cannot not have it. There's no way we could function without it, right? If you don't give us, no, we're gonna go take it somewhere else. It's just that simple. It's just if I'm hungry and I don't have food, I'm gonna go look for food somewhere and eat, right? Same principles, same guidance. If I have to steal, I'm gonna steal, right? If I don't have the money to buy the food, same logic, right? And I'm sure that your
So
female
same
fans
logic
are,
when it comes to sex. That's what you're saying.
yeah. That's why women need to
So
give
if
us.
your woman doesn't give it to you, what you're essentially saying is you will go get it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that she should give it to me. Of course, there are circumstances that is not going to be feasible. Of course, we're not going to act as if a woman is just a sex object, right? So she could be tired. We're living in a country where women work twice as hard as men do, right? So she comes back from a double shift. You're not expecting her to lay there and just spread her legs and then you bounce. That's not what we're talking about. We're saying in a spirit of a relationship, a woman, I mean, when everything is good, right, and everything is rosy, she should be able to provide it for you. You have it, and she should not use it as a tool. Some women use it. Some women are like, I'm mad at you. I'm not gonna give you some cookie. You're like,
Well,
come
yes,
on
I
now.
mean, because it's emotionally tied. I mean, you can't separate your emotions. It's true. You women cannot disconnect that. If sex is it's not as just physical as it is for you guys, right? For women, it is tied with the emotion. So if you're not feeling emotionally connected to the person at that particular time, that matter you, it means everything. Like the whole body is shut down from you. So you wanting that does not solve like they can't give
We
it to you in the manner that you want it. It just means you
we
want
need
her to just lay there and just subdue herself.
and sometimes no, not subdue. It's your man. There's no. I mean, look,
No,
you,
but
you
what
could
I'm saying
you
is
could
for the woman, she is emotion. Those things are tied with her emotions. It's
I
not
get
just
that.
physical. Yeah.
I
But anyway, we're talking about what
listen.
the man wants anyway. But that's where we disconnect. Because for if you upset her, she's mad at you. You don't expect her to just switch off from being mad at you to then just say, "Oh, yes, let's do the do."
look, if you're mad at me, that's one thing, right? You could be mad at me for example, I don't know, let's use a scenario here. Um, it's trash day and you reminded me to take out the trash, right? And you come out, trash is piled up in the garage, and you're really mad. You're like, trash does not come until next week again. So we're gonna be stuck with this trash right now. You're really mad. And all day it was my day off. I was playing video game. I watch a lot of football, and
Yeah.
you're just mad, right? But that is mad at me not taking trash out. So when I come into the bed and I'm like, baby, can I? You cannot use that anger and deprive me. I think that that's part of the problem. You still can give me, right, and still be mad. It does not stop you from being mad. You understand? You could be mad at me and you could still give me what is for me. You say, baby, here you go, but no,
You
I'm
can
still
be
mad.
mad and still give it to you.
Of course, it's like, what's wrong with that?
So
Like
there's nothing
seriously.
wrong with that. Again, like I said, no, 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 no. You even have a smirk saying that because you understand that it doesn't work. Women don't roll like that. Women just do not function like that.
You ask what men want, right? Not
Okay,
what women want, right? So I'm telling you what we want. We want you guys to be mad at us and still do things like you have to be able to separate them. Yeah, I could be mad at my kid, but I still love him, right? I could say
no,
what you
I
did
mean
was
you're
not.
mad and loving. It doesn't mean that the fact that she's not giving it to you does not mean she doesn't love you.
Okay, let me ask you.
So
So
she's
if
just
she's
mad.
mad at me, can she still cook for the house so that we eat?
Of course.
Oh, okay, okay. There we go. There we go. She can cook.
Yes.
Okay, if she refuses to cook, can I go eat at a restaurant?
Okay, I mean, if she refuses to cook, I mean, you have to find food somewhere. But
Oh, okay. So with
maybe
food,
that's your
I can.
day. Maybe that's your day to cook.
Assuming that we don't have days, right? Assuming that she assumes that mantle of chef in the house. You know, she's the one. She's a
I
connoisseur.
like how
Some
you
women don't
shocking say
like
that
you.
she assumes the mantle. Okay.
Yeah, some women don't like you to mess around with their kitchen, right? That you go in there, you move things around. Like they're like, baby, don't come in my kitchen. I'm just gonna cook. And but if she's mad at you, right? And for example, let's give a scenario. You know, for the majority of women, they don't check their cars, they don't put gas in their cars. We're talking about women in relationships. Single women do all of this by themselves. Their tires are worn out, so their men do all of this stuff. So oftentimes you come into your woman's car, she's running on E, and you're mad. You fill it up, and in a week's time, it's back on E, right?
Yeah.
You think if you're mad and you come in bed and then she wants some and she's like, baby, I know you're mad, but and she wore her new lingeries and she's like, you think the man is gonna be like, baby, I'm mad at you, I'm not gonna give you anything? Is that what's gonna happen?
It might could.
It does not exist. It just does not. I don't know any man who says unless a woman cheats. I think those are the extremes. Like a man would deprive his wife when it's like an extreme situation, right? A woman will be mad at you for drinking water and just standing the bottles all over, and you go to the bedroom and she says no. Simple things. Men want three things. Keep it simple. When
But
you're going shopping, keep me out of it. One, do not deprive
wait,
me of
wait, wait.
sex
Are you
unless
saying
it's one of those.
you guys do not want to be involved in shopping? There are
No,
some
no,
men
no.
who
I'm not. No, 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 no,
enjoy
no. I'm not
shopping though.
saying that we don't want to be involved. You guys go shopping like 5 times in 1 week, right? There's this sale, there's that sale, there's this lingerie, there's this thing. You know all the deals coming up, right? So you want to go. That's what your girlfriends are for. You have girlfriends for that. You understand? There's a time that I want to treat you. So I take you shopping. And if you want to treat me, you take me shopping. But if you
Okay.
just want to just go have fun, call your girl up. That's what you have her for. Call all
But then
five
what
of them.
happens when she starts spending way more time with her girlfriend because you are not really there? To her, having a man means that you're now, you're sort of like emotionally available. You're there to fill in some of those blanks to take up some of that time. You know,
Look,
like
we
if she actually
we are
enjoys something with you, I mean,
we
maybe
are at home. we sleep together, we wake up together, we probably text all day, we probably, when we go to work, we're still in communication. So you take 2 hours. It's not, again, this is not going, you plan all of these things, right? You have to plan all of this stuff. Have you seen pictures of men in the mall just depressed? Like they're just like husbands. Have you seen those pictures? They're just sitting in the female section, so many panties. You see the depression, you see the sadness
You
on
see the
these
pain.
people's face. You see the pain. It's because those women don't understand that they need to leave the man alone. Let him do his workshop.
I
Maybe
mean,
he's building some.
maybe sometimes they want the guy to assist with the payments because they feel like if he's there, he's gonna pay.
No, I give you my card. I'll put money in your account. I just don't have to go. Baby, I'm going shopping. I need $500. Okay, take my Navy Federal card. Take my Bank of America card. You know what? Let me just transfer the money in your account because I can give you my card and you end up spending $2,000. So I'll give you the $500 that you need, right? But I don't have to go with you, right? You go do what you need to do.
Okay, I can appreciate that, where you talk about, but there are some men who don't even participate in all of that, who will not even
Know
say, okay,
know the
here,
man
this
that
is
you
the point.
marry.
Yeah,
Know the man that you are with. Every man has his strengths and weaknesses. Some men are fantastic with domestic chores. They will clean the house, set up the house, do everything. Some men are fantastic with stuff like that. Some men are just hardworking men. When they come in, they're like your typical African man. As soon as they open the door, they're like your average cliche. Let me use my Barefoot brothers. The one their wives to ask, baby, you want chop chop before you chop your chop. They're all brackets of
you
men,
want
right? So
to jump that jump. Okay.
so you have to know the man that you marry or the man that you are with. And this is another thing. Women should stop comparing us. Like Simon does this with his wife. They go shopping, they go to church together, they do all of this stuff together. I want you to do this with me. I'm not Simon. You see, we are very simple people. Don't think that because that's a man over there, he's like me, but we don't relate, right? So women should not compare us to other men. Leave us be. Know when you need to take me out. Know when is I'm not gonna
No,
go
but
out.
I understand that you shouldn't compare people to one another, but sometimes in terms of measuring like your growth level in your relationship, or perhaps there are things that you aspire to, you may say, or you're trying to incorporate something in your relationship. So it's not necessarily comparison. You're just saying this couple does X, Y, Z. I feel like the reason I'm referencing this is for you to know that I'm not being abnormal to ask for that favor. I'm just saying I would like for you to do this because I've seen this couple incorporate that and it works for them. I think we can also incorporate it in our relationship. So how is that comparison? I think men tend to see that like an ego crusher. You're comparing with another man. Is that
No, okay. Take me for example. I'm a terrible picky eater. I eat only African food. I cannot. I don't try new things. So if I'm dating somebody who's very exploratory with
adventurous?
food, adventurous with food, and then she has a friend whose husband is always willing to, the husband, if the woman says eat this, he's gonna eat this, and then she comes back to me and says, but look at Cynthia, she and Brian, they do all of this together. I cannot, I can't, I would not, that's going to be a problem for
No,
us
no,
because you should know
that's
that I'm
different.
not
You
like
have
that.
allergies. That's different. If
No,
you're
I don't have no
allergic
allergies. I don't
or
have
you're
no medical reason. It's just, I don't, I have no medical reason whatsoever. I just don't.
you're just
I've
setting
been in
your
this
way.
country since the black and white times. I've never tried mashed potatoes and gravy.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever, ever tried. Never. I pass on it. The most American food I will have is ham or probably chicken.
Okay.
That's
So
how
in
bad.
other words,
That's how
what
bad I
you're saying
am.
is you are the kind of guy that wants your traditional meals.
Fufu and jama, arrow, and even within African foods, I'm not gonna go eat perm. I'm not gonna eat kui. I'm not. So that's how I'm telling you. The point here is that I cannot be with a woman that is seeing some other persons whose husband is willing to be adventurous, who's willing to take that risk, who's like,
No, wait.
baby,
So
let's
so
try this.
you're saying you want those hard traditional dishes cooked for you all the time, like
No,
fufu
no,
and chicken. Do you understand how hard it is to make those dishes?
no, I could be blessed with somebody who does not mind to do it, right? That could be my blessing, right? Maybe the good Lord did not bless me with $1 million in my bank account, but he said, you know what, son, I know what your needs are. I'm going to give you a food woman that's going to pound you at you every Sunday. It's going to make your fufu and jaba jaba. That might be my blessing, right? And I'll be like, that's it. But
And so that works for you, yeah.
if
Because there
that's
are a
what
lot
makes
of
me
men out
happy.
there who are actually apparently in that same bracket where they want those local dishes. You know, he said, I don't see that
And the
as a
problem,
problem.
the problem with those guys is that they marry a woman who is not gonna do it, right? And then now they have a problem because that is what they want, but whoever they are with cannot serve it to them, right? And again, a woman before all of this happens, there's that period of
So
courtship, right?
I thought when you said, men want three things: they want food, they want sex, and they want to be left alone. In terms of the food, as you have food on the table, so it also boils down to what kind of food, and
That's why I
how
said
the
there are
food.
nuances. There are nuances in all of these things. Those were the major topics, right? Like you have the main topic, and then bottom line is we want food. For the person who is very adventurous, one of my very best friends is adventurous. He does not really care. If you put snails on the table, he's gonna eat it. If you put snakes on the table, he's gonna eat it, right? So I want food. I'm just a little picky eater, right? I'm not far off from him. I'm just a picky eater. He does not care. He wants food. Whenever we come and there's no food, then that's when the problem starts, right? When we come and we don't see food, right? And then we're like, okay, what's the situation? Are we going to a restaurant to eat? I mean, some kind of communication. But bottom line, food, sex, leave us alone. Three things. I mean, if you have to
So
write a book
you're
about
saying
what
that, I mean, that sounds very basic though, but let me tag along with what you're saying for those three things. So if your expectation is those three things, and let's say it's a busy week at home, and maybe that week you only ate like one cooked meal a week. Your woman is only able to cook maybe once a week because maybe her schedule. That would quickly become a problem. But if
again,
there's somebody
it
who
shouldn't
doesn't
it shouldn't in a normal relationship, most guys communicate, right? Most guys are gonna be like, baby, what's the situation? Guys are actually oratory people. We communicate. I mean, some guys don't talk as much, they're more uh introverts. Those are the minority, but most guys will be like, even sometimes they say we're controlling, but when stuff is not going right, we're gonna say, listen, it's been 1 week and we haven't had anything to eat, right? And usually the woman, if she has to also say her own part. What is the reason why there've not been no food? Maybe I didn't give money, right? Maybe I've not provided any kind of assistance. Maybe she's been working crazy. Maybe there are kids involved. um um can you bear with me 1 quick second?
sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. All right, guys. If you just joined us, I have with me as my guest for the day is Harry. We are talking about what men really want. What do men really want as far as relationship? Maybe wants and needs. I feel like the points that he has highlighted is really talking about the needs, the basic necessities to sustain or to make them, I guess, happy. But there are other things that I want to delve into when he does return. Someone is saying most we want to go back and address some other questions as soon as he comes back. But I'm happy that we are talking to the brothers about this topic. This is a topic that continues to help a lot of us as far as what do men really want. And guys are also trying to figure out what do these women really want. Like your needs are a long and endless list. We are going to talk to the women next week. But for now, men want weak women. Abu Free, Abu, Abu Free, you hear? I think I love her comment. She says, men want weak women. Is there a truth to that statement? When we talk about men wanting weak women, I guess, in my opinion, we're talking about they want a woman that you can essentially control. You can tell her, I want this done today, and it is done. You want all your needs met in through your orders. You give an order, you put an order to the table, and it is met. Would that be a true statement? Versus weak,
I'm not
strong women.
I'm not surprised it comes from Abu Free, right? Me and Abu Free go all back and forth with this whole issue. First off, there's a class of men that want weak women, right? And those are those controlling, abusive men. Any man that wants a weak woman is an abusive man. And it's just one disaster waiting to happen, right? A comfortable brother, look at me, a comfortable brother like myself, the
Yes, bro.
strongest woman. The woman I am with is one of the strongest women I've ever had in my life. She at times when she puts me on my in my place and let me know what's up. So any man that is gonna tell you I want a woman that's gonna when I come, my food is ready at 5, my water is warm enough, she cannot make boy kids, she can only do this. That's a man who's very controlling. And are they controlling men in society? Yes, they're also controlling women in society, right? That's not what we are here. We're not about to talk about that small group of men that want to dominate, that want to control and abuse and like when you see their women, they cannot even express themselves. They're depressed. They've not even blossomed. You don't even see the beauty in those women because the men have shielded them so much. That's not the class of men that I want to talk to. I want to talk about the brothers that are like myself, right? Confident brothers that know that their spouse and their partners, they're like your equal. You understand? That encourage them to be better, and they also encourage us to be better.
But bro, hold on to that thought for a minute. I find that statement is a little bit, while it is easy to vocalize and verbalize, a lot of guys say, I want that strong woman who's all of these things, or I want a virtuous woman who's prayerful, but then you have her and you sort of want to tone her down. So you bring in this woman and then you want to tone her down, or she's prayerful, but you will not pray with her.
If I'm not prayerful, right? If I'm not prayerful, Didi, if I'm not prayerful, if I'm not a prayerful person, right? I expect that my woman should know this. And if she doesn't want to marry a prayerful person, then I'm not the person for her. You understand? And there are times where you could win somebody over. You could actually take your woman out of a church and your woman can take you into church, right? It's good to try, but those things happen before you get married. Right? You have to say, this is who I am. I'm in the church. I'm a church person, and I would like for you to join me into this church. And if the person says, no, I'm not a church person, and you like him enough to see that both of us can run parallel, you could do your church stuff. The bottom line, the problem is people trying to change other people, right? You have to know who you are with. And once you understand that person, about 60% of the problem is gone. And it's a continuous understanding process, right? It's a continuous learning process. We're not going to know each other just because we did it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We're going to know each other every day because we mature and we take different personalities. We add to what we already have, right? So bottom line, the man at that particular scenario is just to be left alone. You want to go to church, I'll wake up in the morning, get the kids ready, get you ready, get the car warmed up, put gas in the car, drive you guys to church, drop you guys off at church. I just won't get in. Come back and
so what if that is what she desires for you? I mean, I know we're talking about what the man wants, but what if the woman is also wanting for her man to be with her in church on Sunday?
Is that enough? Is that enough? Do you think that would be enough grounds for us to have a problem?
If you're not going to church?
Yes.
If you're not going to church and the whole family is going to church except the guy, it should be a problem. I mean,
no.
It depends
you see, it means that
like most women go to church. That's why the population in church is mostly women, because the men don't want to come to church. I mean, the church is not designed for just the women, though.
We have
women. Where's the men?
Right. That is I have not stopped you from going to church, right? Just don't force me. See, for example, again, on Sunday mornings, there's a football game.
It's synonymous to a woman in terms of importance as, your sex is important to you.
This is about us, about making the woman's life better. She's trying to understand us, right? For her to understand us, one of the things is don't put pressure on us. We're not like you guys. You guys handle pressure. You guys take pregnancy alone is an unbelievable pressure. It's an unbelievable amount of pressure. You see, women had a design and a flawless ability to handle this amount of pressure. Men are not. Men are like glass. A little bit of crack, it just goes into 100 different pieces. That's how vulnerable men are. So don't put pressure on us. We're going to break. So understand, lobby us, use techniques, My wife used to say I'm
Yeah,
not diplomatic enough because I'm always
you have to
just
understand that
like
salvation is individual though. So I don't know why you need to be cajoled to go to church. I
exactly.
mean,
And that's what I'm saying, that if you don't want to cajole me, and then let's keep it at the individual level. Let me be, and then you be, right? The problem comes if I tell you that I don't want you to go to that church. Now we have a problem because I am imposing my beliefs on you. See, then you
okay.
have a problem, right?
Okay,
But
so you're
usually
fine with her. Like if the woman would bother you about going to church, that would make your life happy. You would just be like
the
ecstatic.
the larger percentage of men, that's what will happen. Of course, there are things that would happen in a man's life that would draw him nearer to God, right? And we don't want that. Not
What
usually.
things? Like, what things? Career change? Like what are some of those things that would draw a man
Um,
closer to
it,
church?
a man falls sick, near death experiences.
Hmm.
Men see, men have to almost die for their eyes to open, right? And sometimes they have to do it two or three times, and then before they're like, okay, maybe God is sending me a signal here. Maybe I need to actually go to church, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how men. If you see most men in church who were not usually there, look at their experiences. They were sick and some near death experience, right? And then
Right.
the wife is like, okay, baby, God has given you another chance. Come on, let's go to church. And then they're inclined to be like, yes, I am. But generally, on a Sunday morning, there's the English Premier League. It's hard for me to say, okay, Premier League or to go here. Yes, yes, and just
So,
leave me.
so
Leave me in my
soccer,
space.
soccer will take priority over that church.
That's
Like,
what makes
don't
me
even
happy.
bring it up.
Don't even bring it up. That's what makes me happy. See, I will go to church and have an attitude. The pastor can see my attitude,
So
and
the thing is, the woman is not really so much about it. It's about what is good for you, not necessarily about what makes you
but
happy.
this
She's
show,
thinking
see,
about your soul, how relevant
no,
it
no, no,
is that
no,
your
no. You
soul
see,
wants it, that you enjoying sports that has
D,
no added
This
value.
show is about what I want, right? How to
Okay,
make her
I
life
see.
better, right? How to make her life, how to make our marriage, our relationships, our union better. That's what this show is. What do men want? So when a man tells you what he wants and you say, no, this is not good for you, then you're not asking me what I want. You're telling me what is good for me, right? If I tell you I want vanilla ice cream and you said, no, I'm not going to give you vanilla ice cream, I'm going to give you chocolate ice cream, then why did you ask me? You could have just said, I'm going to give you
I'm
chocolate.
getting you chocolate ice cream.
Exactly. And that's what women do. They ask us what we want. We say we want vanilla. They're like, nope, I'm giving you chocolate. I'm giving you any other flavor that's out there. Apart from
Or
what
like you say, a
we,
woman can ask a man, "How do I look in this outfit?" He tells her, and then she changes the outfit.
and I tell all my brothers, there are two questions you don't answer. Baby, am I fat? Never answer that question. You are a dead man.
No, but I mean, if the woman is looking for an honest answer, honest feedback from her man, though. So
No, she's
you
not
can't
looking
straight
for
talk
an
your woman. You
honest
can't straight
feedback.
talk her. I mean, you can straight talk her and say, "Baby, I think yeah, some inches. You're adding a couple of inches here and there."
Ooh, ask all the brothers that have answered that question. They will tell you they slept on the couch.
Okay,
That
so
is a
Blanche,
that
you
is
don't
a
have to
very
be in a relationship. You don't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. Blanche, you're actually right. I saw Bless also said something about leave the church thing out of it or something that is really not a priority. Bless, I think I saw your comment and I thought it was interesting as well. As you see the comments coming in, let us know. But so if you want to scale it then, so to a guy, your Premier League is definitely more important. Will take precedence over church service for that particular week.
no. What I'm saying is, okay, I'm using, for example, I'm just guys who are into sports. Not every guy is into sports, right? Not every guy is gonna be like, um, a guy could just be lazy. He's like, that's the one day I've worked 6 days a week, and Sunday is the only day that I have time to really sleep in, right?
Yeah.
I've done double shifts. I'm an RN. I've worked 16 hours Monday through Saturday, and Sunday morning is the only one day that I have to catch some really good sleep. And I don't really want to feel like I need to go to church. You understand?
But I mean, you do you know you can take a good nap later on? Like, I mean, when you go to church, come back, and then there's good lunch served. They eat, and then you
D,
can have this nice, good afternoon nap, chill way into the evening. You know, you can
D,
do
what
that thing.
I feel like you're insisting on changing us as opposed to learning what we want, right?
I
And this,
apologize. I apologize. Let's learn what the brothers. Let's learn what the brothers want. You know, I'm here
right?
to also, play the other side of the advocate.
No,
I
no,
have to.
true.
I have
I
to.
get it, right? But see, that is part of leaving us alone. You understand? For example, just there are
Where
days
is
that
the line for alone, though? Leave you alone. What does that really mean? So you just want to come in, live by your own rules, technically.
no,
Leaving you
no.
alone simply
This is
means you just really want everything to go your way. Where's the compromise? Where's the line of compromise?
they say behind every successful man lies a successful woman, right? Because the woman has to be successful for the man to be successful, right? The woman is like the gardener. She's the one pulling out the weeds and all that stuff for that flower to blossom, right? For that man to grow and be this whole person that we're like, look at that man, he's successful now and all of this stuff. Um, but essentially, that is a woman that has understood her man, right? She knows
Right.
the edges to cut off. She knows what to trim off. She knows exactly what to take off and when, right? She's
Mm-hmm.
not trying to do everything at the same time. This is a woman who has sat back and understood who she is with, who this person is. There's, if they come in running and say your husband has done X, Y, and Z, she would say that's not my husband. If they come in and says, "Oh, your husband has fathered a woman in some," she'll be like, "Sounds about right. That sounds like my husband." That's a woman who knows her man. Most women don't
Oh,
know the people that they are with.
okay. So you're
They know
saying
their name.
if they come and tell her that Jimenez fathered a child, she would just be like, "Oh yeah, that
No,
sounds
no,
like
no.
my."
That's an example, right? That's an example I'm giving you because you know the person that you are with, right? I'm giving you that extreme example to justify that. Some women know the person they are with. That if somebody comes, it does not necessarily mean that it's true. It's just because you know that that is something that he is capable of doing,
Right.
right? For example, if they come and say, your husband has been arrested, he's been charged with DUI. If your man is a heavy drinker, you're like, okay, that's a
Like you're just like,
possibility.
I'm not surprised, like to be expected
Yeah.
kind of thing.
What is the next thing do I need to do to get him out of jail, right? But if they come and
Mhm.
tell you that your man has been charged with DUI and he has never, there's no beer in your house, there's no alcohol in your home, you're gonna be like, no, that's not my man. And then if you
Right.
find out that it was him, then you're shocked because you're like, this is not who, what is wrong with you? This is not, that's a woman who knows her man. And oftentimes, African women don't do that extra step to know us, to
Uh,
know what
you know
hurts.
what? I think it goes both ways though. It's not about just the African
No,
woman.
no, no. Today is about us. Today is about us. It
Okay,
goes
I
both
know
ways. That's true.
that's the complaint you're putting out there that they're not taking the time to know you guys. I feel like
Mhm.
the men are not also investing enough time to know the women they are with, or to at least understand the needs of their women. You know,
And
there's probably
that is true. That is a valid point that we don't
especially when it
also
comes to
know our
intimacy,
women.
though. Especially when it comes to intimacy and romance. A lot of, and if we're gonna go specific on the African brother, I
Woo.
feel like the African brothers did not really take the time to say what really romances this woman, and what is it that she wants. I mean, I know we're talking about our brothers here, but seriously though, there are women who are lacking in that area, and we are having this conversation tete a tete, like, but you're even because you are scared that it may emasculate the brother, you know, you don't even know how to dialogue, how to go back to him and say, you know what, I need more, or I need you to do this, like, or can you improve? Because it's probably like, so you've been all this time indulging this thing, so ego becomes a problem as well, you know. So anyway, let me
So,
just say,
so what you're saying essentially, right, is that we have a problem of communication, right? That's essentially
major.
what you're saying. Africans, and you have to understand, we are very conservative people. We grew up in our generation. The generation behind us, I'm sure their experiences are different from me, you, and the people in our generation, right? We grew up in very conservative households where I mean, I see the younger generations, the things that they do right now, we would have never gotten away with stuff like that. And that's
Never.
generational, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in our generation, communication is not perfect, right? We don't you don't know women and men don't know how to communicate to each other. Um, I think a woman knows her body better than a man would know her body. No two women are the same, right? Um, an African man is just gonna think that hardcore penetration is gonna satisfy a woman, but a woman knows that that's not gonna do
Yeah,
anything to me,
banging.
right?
Just
But
banging.
she knows her body. She knows every point, sensitive point and stuff. So she needs to be able to tell her husband that the left boob is what moves me. It's not the right one. Stop wasting your time on the right one, right? He's not gonna know unless he does it, and then your eyes bright up and shine. He's like, oh, okay, that's where it is. But that's just like a toss up, right? But you need to say, okay, take this head, put it right here, do this X, Y, and Z. That is communication. Don't wait until after the process, and then you tell me as if
Do you know how complicated it is to have some of these conversations with some of your brothers? Some of
again,
them are not even like
no.
open-minded enough. I know we are slightly aggressive because we're really focused on, what do you guys really want, in terms of making a success, taking a relationship from beginning to make it a fruitful and productive relationship. Anyway, guys, give me a second. Guys, if you are just joining this conversation here, I hope you've already shared. Please go ahead, share, tag, and invite. Harry, there are so many amazing comments that are running through the feed. I don't know if you're seeing them, but we'll have to touch on it. Harriet says the most unattached men to their wives are African men. Okay. And then, so listen, if you're just joining, please, I need you guys to go ahead and share, tag, and invite. My guest for today is Treize, aka Harry Fon, joining me today from Chicago. He's also a talk show host and does a lot on the media front. We are talking today about what do men really want. Women are just tired. We are tired of seeing the statistics of our relationships, falling apart, breaking because the men are saying you women don't understand us or you're not doing enough of XYZ. So I say, you know what? Why don't we take it back to the brothers? Tell us exactly what you want. This may help save one relationship tonight, or somebody who's listening today could learn some tips and go make their relationships even better. So the key here is to see how we can learn from the brothers and then do better as we go along. All right. So Harry, you can continue. So Harry said, you should have brought a lady to also talk. Well, you know what? We are going. So this is a three-part series. The first part is we're hearing from the men. What do the men really want? Next week we're gonna hear from the women. What do the women really want? And the finale, the third part series, is we'll bring everybody to the table and let everybody really squash this thing once and for all. So this week we're hearing from the men. All right. So let's go ahead.
So I was saying that for the most part, as and again, I'm coming from the point of view where what the men want. I'm not putting women's point into perspective in this,
Sure,
right?
that's all we want today.
Right, and I know that the women are antsy. They want to make their own point. This is us telling them that we want to sleep on the right side of the bed. We want to sleep. So we're making our case, right? I'm making the case for the majority of normal men, not the abusive ones or the ones that are controlling. So we take those variables out, right? We stay with the guys who are just traditional guys who are trying to make
Right.
ends meet. Okay, so the average man doesn't want his woman to tell him who he is, right? And this comes back again to this is who I am. You can polish me up, but don't have a fantasy persona. Don't have an image of somebody, and then you think that is who I should be. You want a man with six pack, so you didn't have a man with six pack. You're managing me with my one pack, right? And then every day you're nagging me and stuff and stuff and stuff. Men hate that, right? I'm telling you, for the most part, we can have little chit chats, right? But they're conversations again that is for you and your girlfriends. That is why you have those people, right? Your
Right.
relationship is not gonna blow out because um, there's some things that you don't tell your husband, right? There's just some things that is not for him. It's just for you. And when he's not paying you no mind, you get upset. Why am I talking to you? You're not listening to me. You're probably distracted. You're probably some other woman is distracting you.
So
Your
that's
brother
not
know
the time for her to come and flirt with her lingerie if you're focused on your sports.
exactly. You understand, right? Maybe I'm watching Donald Trump do some crazy stuff and I'm caught up in it. And that's the time that she wants to tell me about some problem that she has. Bad timing.
So what if she's not telling
Terrible
you about a
timing.
problem? What if she's trying to be flirty at that time? What if that's the moment she's saying, you know what?
Bad
Let me see how I
timing.
can.
Bad
Bad
timing
timing.
because
So
it is
you're gonna
hard.
reject her. You're gonna reject her at that
I am
time.
I am not gonna reject her. No man rejects, but he's not gonna have all his attention in there. The man never says no when there's flirt. You come in here, you pass with a booty shot. He's gonna be looking at the TV and looking at you, but his focus is not 110% on you. You understand? He's distracted. Especially take soccer, for example, his team is down and he's stressed and he's about to beat up the coach or break up the TV. That's not the time to bother him about anything. Give him, it's an hour, 30 minutes. Unless the house is burning or it's some emergency, then break the ice. But if it's just your lingerie, your new
Maybe
lingerie,
she's thinking, you know what, your team is losing. That may be a good time for her to
so
come.
we're telling you, right? So if you were thinking that is okay now, know that it's bad timing, right? From now henceforth, know that it's bad timing, right?
Wait
So,
until
so,
the game is over.
so kind of like this is the New Testament. Everything you knew before now is the Old Testament. I have come to ensure that this is from now going, you've learned new things about what we want. We want three simple things. We want to eat, we want to screw, and we want to be left alone, right?
You know, I'm surprised you're saying only three. Where does respect come in? I mean, for a guy, I know you talked about those three things, but I thought respect was equally a big thing for most guys. Because I've seen a
But I
guy,
said,
a guy lose his mind because he says that woman disrespected me. I mean, people don't like to be disrespected, but for men, respect is like this big thing, and then they want to
but
feel turn on
that
the
is a
phone.
foregone conclusion, right? That as an adult, I mean, it's not something that you want. I expect respect from anybody that's an adult, right? Even from kids. I expect respect from men. I expect respect from women. I expect respect from anybody. You give respect, you get respect, right? It's
No,
not a
but I understand. Michelle is saying respect is given. Why marry a man that you don't respect? It's not about not respecting him, but the thing is that people interpret respect differently. Like I had, a guy would say something as simple as, if he were to tell you to do something, let's say a recommendation, to do something, and you did something to the contrary, it means you're disrespecting him. Or
again, you're
I'm
narrowing
just
back
saying that
down
it's
to
so relative.
see, look at this. When you see those situations, right? The next thing that is about to happen is potential abuse, right? Be it verbal, physical, or emotional, right? One of those
Mhm.
three. When somebody starts telling you that my woman does not respect me, it could be true and it could be a dominant person, right? It could be true in the fact that some women just are very disrespectful. They came from backgrounds that respect, because respect starts from you're nurturing lives. When you're a kid, you teach your kids respect. You say, call this person sir, call this person ma'am, right? That is respect. Respect. Greet somebody with their, hold your hands. All of these African values. Those are instilled to us from preemie, right? When we're babies, infants, so we grow up with this. Some people don't have that from their own backgrounds, right? And so they're not gonna respect you, but that's not a standard. And for a man, some men want their women to be their lap dogs, their slave, their worker. I want you to wear this dress. You must wear this dress. So you're giving an order to your partner. You don't give orders to partners, right? This is the person I love. You don't give an order to someone
Right?
that you love. You understand? If you respect the person, then you don't give a person an order, right?
Then
You
you
guys
give them
communicate.
suggestions, recommendations.
Recommendations. You could still say you could make her wear that dress without it sound like baby, I bought you a red dress. Can you try it on? I think you're gonna look classy and sexy in that dress, right? You've said the same thing. You did not just say, when I come back for 6 p.m., I want to see that clothes for your skin. Yeah, like if I'm back at 6, if you don't wear that dress, we're gonna have a problem. And some women are gonna be like, this is America. You're not going to tell me what to do. And she's going to wear a black dress to an all white party, and you're out there, you're about to beat the daylights out of her, right? So that's what that guy is talking about, and that's the life he is about. But those are not the people that I want to focus about. I want to focus on the guys that are at your average Joe, that their
But I
wives,
think
their
the problem
girlfriends.
is the problem. I know you're talking about the average Joe, bro, but I'm telling you, the rate of misunderstandings between couples is ridiculously high. I mean, we are constantly, when women sit and gather and they're talking, the complaints about men is all of these things. And I don't know what the guys complain about in terms of women, but there are certain things that guys complain about. Maybe the real question tonight, Harry, is what are you guys really complaining about that we are not meeting your needs on? I know you said these three things, that if women met these three things, it will be, a perfect scenario for you guys. Hey guys, I know somebody's talking about. So Harry is really delivering the Bible, the relationship Bible, according to Harry. So we'll now move from Old Testament to a New Testament relationship Bible, quoted by Harry. All right. So let's, women, if you're just joining, man, listen to the New Testament version of your relationship guides, because really we're hearing it from the brothers. Women are having so many troubles, so many misunderstandings happening, and I'm like, we're just two species in this planet. It's either male or female. Why are we having so many misunderstandings between each other? And so let's hear it from Harry.
See, let's go back to how we grew up, right? We grew up in most households where the father was working and maybe the mother was like a stay at
But
home.
there's different audiences to them. People, so speak to in general
Right. No,
terms.
we're true.
Yeah,
For us, culturally too, it's an issue when you say what the men want. Culturally, I would always think as an African man because I'm an African guy, right? It's hard for me to think like an African American because I don't have that experience. I don't have that growth, right? Or a Caucasian male or a Latino male because that's not my background, right? Their growth,
right.
what you want precedes your growth, right? What you want is what you know. You only want what you know. You cannot want something that you don't know, right? So
Mhm.
as much as we have a broader audience, there's going to be similarities. A man is a man, is a man, is a man. The other man, I'm in a lot of clubs where we have Caucasians and other cultures, and they will tell you that they would just want to be left. I told you about the scenario at the mall where you see men outside of shops or depressed in one corner, they're just like behind their wives and just slagging off. They're never happy. I've never seen a happy man at the mall with his wife. I've never. If any woman says her husband is happy it's a lie. It is a
But Harry,
lie.
you brought a point about cultural nuances, right? I've noticed that, well, the general observation is that when let's say African men are dating women from different cultures, they tend to go outside of the norm. They do a little bit above and beyond what they typically would traditionally do with the women from their, let's say their origin, like the same tribes or the same nationality or the same culture. So they tend to go, one step higher. Is it a form of complex? What is it that is leading to that extra
It,
move,
it
that
could
extra take?
it could be
Now that we are
complex.
on that, I don't want to
It could
digress,
be
but
it could be complex. It could be compensating, right? Uh, think about a scenario where you have not been in your child's life for a very extended period of time, long period of time, right? And then at some point you are opportune to be in that child's life. Usually you overcompensate, right?
right.
You do above and beyond, and this is your child. You're just trying to catch up for the time lost. So it could be that people who date outside of their race, an African man dating an African American woman, an African guy dating a white woman or a Latino woman, they can start to overcompensate, right? They can say, okay, she does not understand my culture. There's some things that I'm not going to be too demanding of her. And it could just be shared complex, right? We're humans, right? We're fallible. So it could be shared complex. But back to the issue.
Yes, back to the issue.
The man, any woman, be it an African American, white woman, any woman from any background, the man is a simple human being. You have your man in your hand. The man's like a remote control. Every woman owns that remote control. The thing is what you do with your remote control. Some women, the battery of that remote control runs out. They don't even know how to change it. That remote control
Mm.
is your man. It's in your palms. It's just you. No, you can tell a man. There are women who tell their man to jump and he goes how high. right?
Yes.
And the woman is not abusive. She's not a screamer. She's not saying that, oh, I need to
And then
understand.
other
She's not
women
pulling
tend
her
to have a
hair.
problem with it. They're like, how come she's able to
That
tell
is
them
a
like,
woman that does not even know how to push the power button on the remote control.
so
I'm
I'll
telling you,
take you back.
every man has a soft spot. Your work is to find that soft spot. If you want to be with this man, if it's a fling, then you don't care. You're just going there, you do what you do, and you get out, right? But if this is the guy that you say, I want to spend this, I've seen this guy as a potential guy that I'm hoping I could spend the rest of my life with, right? Then you want to take that remote control, pull out the manual and study it, right? I want to
Mhm.
know the input button. I want to know the power button. I want to know the date, what kind of batteries in here. Is it one of those Chinese batteries that's going to run out soon? Or is it like a Duracell battery? You want to know everything. And then that's how, who controls the household? They say the man is the head of the household, but who is the project manager in the household?
And the woman, true. Yeah, but the thing about understanding those things is you need to have somebody who's willing to allow themselves, who is open, who opens up, breaks down the
Correct.
barriers, and allows you to get into their world. If you're trying to get into someone's world and they're building all these barricades, they're putting up these resistance walls, leads me to I think Buena Vista put a comment that says the woman is the most powerful creation in the human species, right? The ones who understand the strength they have over men know what to do to their men to make them like happy like kids in a candy store. That's what somebody said.
Didn't I
So the
just
same
say this
as
to
the
you
woman.
today?
Yes, you're
That's
reverting it back to woman.
the woman is like a nuclear bomb, the most powerful being. You understand? There is nothing that happens.
I'm gonna
The only thing that happens out of a woman's control is when you rape her or when you abuse her. But every other thing, before you have sex with a woman, she has given you consent, right?
right.
She's saying that now have this. It's not you, it's not your power, it's not your might, it's not your money. The only thing that matters is that,
You're seducing her into desiring it.
yes,
You gotta,
yes.
it kind of goes both ways.
But the most important decision in all of that is when she gives you consent.
Right.
Because some women have resisted all of that seduction.
Mhm.
Some women have not. There are women that they've thrown money at them, they've thrown everything, and they've gone someplace with some unknown human being, right? That is the power of a human being. And how they harness that is not that of a man. A man is like a dog. How you train your dog. That's why they call us dogs. You cannot call me a dog, but you've not trained me right. Who trains the dog? The owner of the dog.
So are you expecting? So are you saying that this guy will come untrained, expecting the woman to then train him? Sister,
Didn't we
I mean,
talk
don't you
about
think
you polishing your
people
man
are
up?
adults,
See, you're dating a guy. You see me, you don't know me from Adam, right? We run
right?
up to a spot, we talk, you like my personality, and you're trying to get to know me, right? This is courtship. And in that period of time, you're making your decision. You're asking yourself, this guy has tendencies that I don't like. You understand? You see those things happen. You see those tendencies. A man does not just wake up in the marriage and start beating you up. No, it does not. There were signs long down the road before. You decided to ignore those signs, right? You closed your eyes and said, he did not, this is not what he meant. You decided to do all of that. You could have worked away. You understand? If you see the dog that, if I go into a place and I see a dog that I cannot breed, it's a bad dog, I cannot train, I'm not going to take it and try to train it. I'm not a professional dog trainer. I'm going to take a puppy, right? That I know that it's raw, still a dog. I'm going to train the dog, right? So what you've seen men where they say a man is a player, he's this, he's that, but then he marries a woman, and everybody's like, that woman is crazy. How does she marry that man? And then you start to see changes in the man's life, right? You start to see some kind of things. He starts to go to church, he starts to do things, and everybody's like, wow, that is a
That
power. And the
they
woman,
couldn't see the man turning around. But I think
they
there's a
couldn't
point
see
where
it.
there's a weakness for the man to also turn around. A man will change for the right woman, right?
A
It's not
man,
necessarily a woman changing, but
but
he's
who's the
changing
right
because he
woman?
desires to change, and he feels like this
No,
one to change.
no, the right woman just knew what button to push. It's
And
not. It's
that perhaps is the most poignant point of this conversation. It's those buttons that we're trying to understand, right? Because women have been schooled differently. They understand different things. We lead, the magazines tell us this is what a man likes. This is what you should do to a man, and some of these things are not conforming to what you guys are actually desiring. We're therefore coming to the drawing board to say, okay, can we really just hear from a man? We don't want to hear a woman telling us what a man wants, because a woman is probably telling you what has worked for her one man, not what works for men in general. So we're trying to hear it from the brothers, right? So those things that make the button work is what? Because I'm sure people want to
consider
know so they can help their feet, their
consider
nurture their relationships.
consider we're in America, right? I'm sure that people in other parts of the country that the world that are watching us in Cameroon and stuff consider women as lobbyists, right? Lobbyists are very strategic people, right? They
Right?
know what door to knock and open to get what they want. And that's a
Correct?
woman. You understand? So I'm with one woman and she's abrasive. She's always screaming and she's just nagging and she's just driving me nuts. And I just tune her off. Right. And when I tune her off and she's just like, he does not listen. He's this, he's that. I just tuned you off because you're not slow. You have not slowed your roll down. You're not being a lobbyist. You're being a partisan politician. You're trying to have your way and only your way, right? As opposed to
So
stepping
she has
back.
not slowed her roll down. Okay.
Right. When I mean slow her roll down, that just means that she's not stepped back to reassess the situation. Is this a fit for her? Right? Does
Right.
she see that man as a fit for her? Maybe the characteristics that she wants outweighs the person. Maybe she likes a fancy guy, a tall, handsome guy. But when all that handsomeness is gone, he's some nasty guy, don't clean nothing, and that irritates the living crap out of you, right? And you cannot stand that. But that's who he is, right? But another woman comes, right, and she takes the man. We clean the house together. We do some little things together. She's not telling him that, baby, I don't want your socks to be there. Baby, I don't want your shoes to be here, right? Those little things. She's just like, baby, I'm gonna go clean the house. You want to come with me? And the guy comes. She's like, baby, what do you think about putting this one here? What do you think? She's kind of like asking his opinion, right? And he feels like the process it's
In other words,
involving
she's
him.
incorporating you in the process. It's a
Yes,
welcome.
exactly, right? So again, there is more for a woman than for me. A man is just going, right? A man does not marry a woman. A woman marries a man.
A
Yes.
woman marries a
Look,
man.
the only thing that the man does is that he goes and says, "Do you want to marry me?"
Okay.
Right? But what factors have happened before the man made that decision? The woman has convinced him, right, that I am good enough for you to come and ask that question right now. Right? If a woman comes and stay and doesn't do nothing, the
But
man
this
is
is a
never going to
whole
ask.
other topic. This is a whole other topic about whether she's convinced him, because it sounds like there's some things that the woman will need to do before, like, convince him that she can clean, she can cook, she can clean, and do all of those things before you get to say, will you marry me?
Didi, Didi, you cannot ask me what I want if you're not willing to do some things.
Right?
If you ask me that, what do you want to eat? And I tell you I want to eat at you, you cannot say, I'm not going to cook you at you. You should have never asked that question.
No, but what if she doesn't know how to cook at you? You could ask
Don't
for
ask,
someone
don't
to tell you
ask.
that. But
So from
there's also a limitation. She could ask, and her scope is, maybe the question would be, between fish, chicken, and goat stew,
options,
which do you want to
options,
eat, right?
options. You
Not
see,
what do you want to eat if she in her kitchen, her skills are not that broad.
you asked us, what do we want? You did not
Right.
give me options, right? So
Mhm.
it's like asking, what do you want to eat, right? So my wife says, Harry, what do you want to eat? I'm like, cook anything, because I don't know what to pick, right? Because I could say, I want to eat watafu and arrow, and she does not feel like pounding watafu that day, and she's like, I'm not gonna do what the fool. And I'm mad that why did you ask the question? Because if you're asking me that kind of universal question, you're ready to give me a universal
To make it happen.
output. You understand, right? So
Right.
give me options between fish, between chicken and
And go.
macaroni and cheese and
Yeah.
goat. Which one of these do you want? And I'm gonna say I want goat. And if I say goat and I come back from work and see fish, I'm gonna have a problem, right? Because I did not pick
Because you're
fish
salivating for the goat.
for the goat. And women do this, right? So when we come and we have a problem, but guess what we are not gonna do? No matter that I saw fish, I'm still gonna go upstairs and I'm still gonna want to do, right? Even if I'm mad. But for a woman, when she is mad, she can be mad from some other place. Her friend can piss her off, and I'm gonna suffer, right? I'm gonna be like, baby, I still want some. And she's gonna be
I mean,
like, nope.
that's a trade-off. I mean, that's true. You just have to bear with the women. But what you guys are saying today, guys, listen to the Bible, the New Testament quote is that, they would much rather you separate the two. If you're angry, take your anger, disconnect your anger, put it on the side of the bed, do what you gotta do, wake up in the morning. But if you do that and then you wake up in the morning and continue with you, it's almost like that dissolves the anger though. If you were
I
to go
might I might do you just good enough that the problems get solved, right? I
right,
might do you, and I could be so bad that aggravates the anger. You wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm even pissed twice as I, than but what I'm saying is that separate it, right? Do not package. It's not a wholesome package. Do separate it. Don't be mad that you told me to do the dishes and I didn't do the dishes and then I'm horny. I'm about so hard in the middle of the night and I want to get some and you're still mad at me. No, those are
I
problems that
appreciate the fact. I appreciate the fact that you guys are wanting women to be so indulging, to understand you guys, because technically, if you want to be left alone, it also means that guys have mood swings. Because if you say you're irritated, it means you're suffering from mood swings. It means you're changing temperaments. Really, because
a
if you
man
say
has emotions.
I come to talk to you when you're doing sports. If you guys are gone out of the house all day, like most of the weekend to the woman is also wanting that weekend time. If you're taking maybe Sunday and Monday, 2 days of the week for your pleasure, right? And then maybe you also don't want to be interrupted when you're watching the news, that takes even more time from the two of you. So, I mean, there has to be like, women can be constantly understanding, right? So, does she also need her own 2 days, right? Does she also need 2 days for herself? You're taking 2 days for sports and maybe 2.5 or 3 days really for your personal entertainment. Does she also need to take her own 2 days? That leaves you guys to just what, one day of the week together?
See, I think that first of all, for some of us in the Western countries, we work too hard, and I think that most guys, and I'm gonna indulge or plead on my brothers, that we should be more supportive and more understanding of our women. They work too hard. For couples that have kids, the woman is a wife, she's a mother, and she wears all of these hats. Yes, the good Lord made her that way, but she also needs our support, right? She
Right.
needs she needs that shoulder, right? That she can lean on. We cannot just be carefree. Those are things that back home, back in Cameroon, it was a very patriarchy society. It's a man. The woman just knows her role. She knows she's like some kind of plug that she just needs to fit in a particular and just stay there, right? But in this society, it's very inclusive. A woman is an equal. A woman is not something beneath or below you. So I think that guys need to be more understanding. Like I said, when we started, I said, you're dating a woman who has done a double shift, right? If she comes back, she went at 7 and she comes back at 11 p.m., right? She's not seen you for 16 hours. That's a 16-hour shift, right? That she's gone working for your household. Um, if she's tired, right? I don't think that saying that I want sex or trying to get some that I think that should be borderline abusive,
I'm thinking,
right?
yeah, I'm thinking part of the man being the head of the household and being protective is that That man needs to be the one stepping up and doing the double shifts and doing the triple shifts so he can do more to provide for his family, not allowing the woman to go out there and do double or triple shifts, right?
So
I think the man needs to be
society,
stepping up and doing for his
so,
family. If we're going to go,
society, society is changing, right, Didi? Society is changing in such a way that some women are actually uh, physically stronger than the men they marry. Like I said, you have to know your partner. No, 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 hold on. So again, if I'm a teacher, if that's my background, I teach from 9 a.m. to 5. What double shift am I gonna do? If I'm married to a nurse, what double shift? I could pick
so that's
after
where
hours.
the man's obligation is to find out what other second gig can I do to supplement the income of my household, not allow the woman because of her career path to then, enslave her body. Because what happens that
No, no,
later
no.
on in life, you working triples and doubles has adverse effects on your health. So I think the man is built more sturdy to withstand those longer hours. He can find a side gig.
No, I think that as long as the man does not mandate the woman to do the shifts, right? Does not say
Mhm.
it's predominantly, unfortunately, within the Nigerian community, and we are picking that up within the Cameroonian community, where when you marry this RN woman, you think that you've married you some foreman at some plantation where she just needs to go and
You're
work
married an
and work.
ATM.
Yeah, you've married some kind of ATM. An ATM does not work. An ATM just provides you money, right? We're talking about somebody that does the hard work. And trust me, nursing work is no joke. Your knees, your ankles, your waist, your hips, those things give up, right? So what I'm saying is that I think that men should be more understanding, right? So by the time she comes back at 11, maybe you've put the kids to bed, right?
Right.
Maybe if there was food in the kitchen, maybe you've fixed her a plate, and you're up. You're not sleeping before your wife comes or your girlfriend comes back at home. You just wait for her to come in, but you've put the kids. She cannot come at 11, and the kids are still running wild, and you didn't do nothing. I think that is some of the problems that women are going to have when they have the opportunity to tell us that we are not very helpful. And my plea to a lot of the men out there is we don't we the role for the modern man is not just to provide the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to help out. We don't carry the kids for 9 months. So when the kid comes out of the oven, we need to be able to hold it and help her get her back, right? We need to support her to get her back to where she was mentally because she has seen some wear and tear on her body.
Yeah,
That takes a
because there's
toll.
postpartum, there's all of that that's happening, the transformations that's happening to her body,
Exactly.
and just lifestyle. You both of you decide to bring your life, your family has increased. So
So there's all kinds of my girl my friend Eureka, she has all these shows, Mami Pikin Talks. There's all kinds of shows, all kinds of talks, all kinds of things centered around support of the woman. There's no show, there's no program, there's nothing that brings the man to say things are changing. You understand? More women are entering into the workforce, which means that more men have to pick up some task at home, right? Because the work that the woman
or
used to do.
more men need to do more of their work to decrease the women. Because you see, eventually what happens is if the woman is overworking, then she's not there to, be mother at home. So then there's a gap. The children are missing that parental, presence, mother love, mother affiliation, the presence of your parents being at home. I think that, one should decrease, men should also step up and do
Maybe
more to
we could
accommodate
be
all of the
two
factors.
we could be two nurses. We go out to work. I work in hospital A, you work in hospital B, but your workload might be crazy. Mine might not be crazy, right?
Okay.
We do just 8 hours and we come back home. We are content with the money. People that are doing all of these doubles are people that are not content, right? They're first of all living above their means because they're doing more than they should be doing, right? Anybody that is working that crazy is already living far above their means. That's why
Or
they
maybe they
have to
just
do
have
all
a
of.
project. Maybe they have a goal. Maybe they're working towards
Let's
something.
put a small minority on people who have a project. They want to buy a house. They want to do this. They want to do that, right? Let's put that small minority there. But the majority of them live out of their means, right? Okay. But your workload, you might be an accountant and it's tax season. That period of time would be stressful to you. You might be a counselor and you have the worst case scenarios show up at a particular time and you're stressed. So there's no perfect scenario. There's no perfect situation that a man needs to pick up more. A man needs to pick up more, irrespective. But women, some women want to be able look, this is what I say. I think that a woman should have two accounts, right? One that the husband knows and one that the husband doesn't know. And it's okay, it's perfectly fine, right?
Tell me
Yeah,
why,
because
from your perspective.
most men don't have raining funds, right? And a woman cannot just be running with a man that just have his checking and saving account and he doesn't have that one day when stuff doesn't come right. Women always have that ability that some days things just go south. You just see an account, there was some $20,000 in there. She's been saving it for a rainy day. You understand? Men don't
So
have
what
that
you're saying
intuition.
then is what a man would want. This would
Yeah,
fall
not
in the lines
necessarily
of
what
what a
a
man
man.
would want.
No,
It's a woman who can save.
not not a woman who can save. Not a woman who can, because that would be nitpicking and saying that, oh, I'm looking for this kind of packaging. I want my Lexus to look like this and that and that. No, 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 no. I'm saying that right. Those are just added advantages that a woman decides to do on her own side, right?
Mhm.
When I say an account that the man does not know, it's an account still for your family. A lot of women have accounts that the man does not know, but it's for her family, not for the man's family. And usually when the man finds out, there's a problem, right?
So
That's the
why then
money
is
that she
that
takes.
why should it be a problem if it's for a rainy day?
No, no, no. It's not a rainy day for our family. It's a rainy day for your family. You understand?
Mhm.
Like that's how you run your family, right? Because remember, men leave their families. Women never leave their families. The only thing
Mhm.
that a woman loses is her last name. She
Right.
never leaves that family. If a woman
They
wants you
say
to
the
leave your
two shall
father's
leave
house,
and the two shall leave their house and become one.
it's theory. Uh, the reality on the ground is that a woman will always drift back to her home. You
Mhm.
understand? A woman will build a house in her father's compound before a man builds a house in his father's compound.
So you're right. You're right about that. So is it fair to say, therefore, that in terms of what a man really wants, your well, stability is stability important for a man, when he's looking to pick a choice, because you have scenarios where guys will date backwards, will date a woman of any stature without it being a problem. But maybe women will have a problem dating backwards. Like, let's say women are always looking ahead of themselves, but men are presumed to already be ahead in terms of the country that we're in. They're always paid more, higher. We have the salary gaps, gender gaps in payment and stuff. So we are presupposing that a lot of times the man is earning more, bringing more in the household than the woman. But is it true that men will therefore still want a stable woman? Is a woman a being stable? Is that a factor in the equation?
That whole theory about pay disparity was a democratic talking point that has been debunked across the world. So many scenarios. It is much cheaper for a company to hire a woman because they're gonna pay her less than to hire a man, right? Why will I want to pay a man more when I can hire a woman to do the same job and pay her less? What incentive is there for a company to say, I'm gonna hire a man and pay more when I can hire a woman to do exactly the same thing and pay her less? Debunked. We keep talking about it. Nobody is paid more. But back to the scenario, everybody wants stability. Everybody wants, well, your home is your sanctuary. You understand? Once you leave your home, you don't have control of anything that happens out there. So there's stressors, there's so many crazy things happening outside of your home. But you expect that once I open my door and come in, it's my zen area. It's my time for recuperation, right? I should not walk into a war zone. I should not walk into a situation that exp- explodes my stress. And that's what some people have when they're coming back
Right.
to their homes and they're like, oh God, I have to go meet that woman again and deal with her BS. That's a terrible situation, right?
So
And
anyway, so
and
let's just say that stability becomes relevant. And stability, a woman being stable is, I guess, emotional stability, financial, what? What else are some things that you guys would consider as a stable woman?
emotion is always the most important. Financial goes up and down, right? You lose your job, you get a new job, you stop, you go back to school. So there's always that break, right? Financial stability throughout is really hard to guarantee. But we want to be loved. There are times when we're gonna fight. That's expected. But we still want to have our sex, right? We still want to. If you see a man stressed, half the time he has not had some in like 2 weeks, and you see him just pacing, he has probably wore the wrong size of shoes and he's just confused. He has not had some in a few weeks, right? So emotional is usually the most one of the most important points. Financial, it's a growth process, right? We started here and we're going to this level. Our goal is here. So that's our goal where we're going to. But it's important, but I think emotional is the most important.
It's equally as important. Anyway, I
Yes.
see a comment from Harry. Harry is talking about, men, women being bulldozers. Harry can make it chop. She's alluding to the fact that most. I think we are now in a place where a lot of guys are just asking you, you're going on a date, let's say, which shift do you work? In other words, they're already assuming that you're in a particular career field. You're a nurse, like, are you a nurse? So it's like they're looking for which career path are you on? What is the most thing that will benefit me as a man? So, I talked about the last time, do people marry for love or for convenience, right? And it really could go with being financially viable also makes sense to the man that this woman is a contributor to that relationship. It's no
But
longer, we're no longer in that area where the man is looking like, I can take care of my household, so if you're working or not, we're still good.
you understand that women are going to school longer now, right? Which means that they're marrying also further down the road. They're not getting married at 23, 24, 25, 26 now because they're going for a 4 year program. And then once they get out through that 4 year program, they work for 2 years, 3 years. They're not satisfied. They go back for a master's. And then, they keep pushing that education, which is good. It's a good thing. But because of that, there's that once they're ready to marry, there's a sense of desperation because there's a biological clock that they're working with. I found out recently that at 35, a woman is considered late term for delivery,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was something like 40, right? So at 35, you think that she's still young, right? Who would think that a 35 year
Medically,
old
you're considered high risk. Yes.
Exactly, right? But a lot of people don't know this. So when they find out that I am 31, 32, I have amassed all of these degrees, I'm financially stable, I got everything, but I don't have that man that I need to partner with and start my family. So there's an increased risk to rush a little bit, right? So opportunists come into the game. That's where they come in to ask you, what shift are you working? What's the salary? That's because that door is welcoming mostly people who are opportunists. And you said something earlier. Yes, women don't date down the ladder, right? Women only date up the ladder. A man does not have a ladder, right? A man just is just a man can date all the way to nobody, nobody would. He could date a superstar, a man, but a woman once she has left a certain status, she just doesn't go back, right?
Right.
I like to use nurses because, for example, it's an easy measure point, right? They have layers. They have CNA, LPN, RN, nurse practitioner. So if a nurse is like a CNA, which is like at the bottom level, right? She's gonna date CNAs. She's gonna date LPNs. She's gonna date RNs. When she becomes an RN, she can't date a CNA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's dating back. Now, unless she's been dating him, but if a CNA comes into her life, the chance of her accepting is really minimal, right? Of course, there are
Right.
exceptions out there, but normally a woman does not date down. But bottom line, if you look at all of these things we've said, centers on a woman looking at a man like a portrait. right? This picture right here. Do I like this picture? Where do I put this picture in my house to make this picture more beautiful, right? So when you walk into my house, you could see this picture because another woman is going to put that picture someplace where nobody sees it, right? So when
Okay.
you walk into the house, it might be obscured, it might be behind some other thing, but another woman is going to know what exactly to do with that picture. And I'm telling you, the
So,
bottom line, the three most important things that she has figured out is that I need to clean that picture. I need to put it somewhere where it's reflective of what I want out of that picture, right? And I need to make sure that the picture does not fade out, right? So it's the same thing with a man. I need to feed him, I need to F him, and I need to leave him alone.
anyway, so women, you've heard that. I think if you're talking about dating, dating really, you're not entitled to the F part. You're not entitled to have free sex if you're just dating.
What do
You
you
know,
mean? In
I'm
what
just saying,
century?
they're not supposed to have premarital.
2019.
They're not supposed to have premarital sex. So let's
Who
drag them to the other side.
did it? Is
So how
this
do you?
like a Christian show? Is this like
No, it's not Christian. It's not Christian. But even uh, let's say the relationship expert, like the Steve Harvey's and some who talk about relationship, they say, that's why the guy you married her because you didn't want to have it or whenever and however. That's why you get the contract for the I do. But when you're dating, you're not entitled. You can't be having it every single day. Otherwise, why do you need to marry the girl? I mean, if you're just dating though. If you're just dating, why do you need
uh,
to have it every day and all the time? You're just dating.
no. I
So what is
I
it
need
dating?
to
What is it
I
for
need
marriage
to
then?
lock it down now. I have tried it. I like it. I need to lock it down. Let me tell you,
Locking down by getting it every single day. No, she has to say the get it whenever you want at marriage.
understand that sex is also a need for women. Women keep treating sex as if it's a
Oh,
service,
absolutely.
right?
And
It's not
we
a
we
service.
want need it.
No, see, the thing is this, you feel like you're doing us a favor. And that's part of the problem. And that's why I emphasize that the F part of it is also it's not a favor. You're not doing me a favor. You're having
Well, it's
fun.
more of a
You're
favor.
in,
For women can get by with it, can get by without it for way longer than you guys can. So
exactly.
to
But
that
you're not,
extent, it's more of a favor
anytime
for you
that a
guys.
woman feels like she's having sex with a man to do a favor for him, that is terrible. I think that's abuse. The man does not know. That is abusing a man. I think that should be
Right.
something that the legal minds should look into. If you find out that the woman had sex with you, but it was a favor that she was doing, that looks like quid pro. She's giving you something in return for something, and we should consider that some kind of crime. A
Yeah,
woman
but
should
if
have
you're
sex
wanting, if
for
you're wanting
one
it, if
reason
you're wanting
only.
it every single day, you're wanting it all the time, and she doesn't really desire it that much, then a lot of the time she's doing it for favor. It's not really favor, it's more for compromise. She's doing it like
Of
because
course,
you
compromise
like
is
that.
better. I like compromise. I
Yes, I
like
think it's more for
compromise.
compromise.
Uh,
I'm
uh,
not doing it
uh,
because I want it. I'm doing it because that's what he needs, and so I'm doing it to make it work for him. Hey guys, Harry, I know I've kept you a little longer the conversation. I don't know if you still have another 5-10 minutes before we. There's so many questions that are on here. If you want to read through them and find out any comments that you want to respond to directly, do that. But I want to just ask you before we go. I know somebody said some of the comments were saying men are also looking for what men want. Some of the feedback I got from guys, some said they're also looking for long-lasting relationships. I didn't really know that's one of the things that men comes to the forefront of their minds when they're getting into a relationship, that they're looking for long-lasting relationships. Most people said they want food, quiet time. I guess quiet time equates to being left alone. And sports was being major for guys, sex. Then I don't know where common interest comes into play here. It doesn't seem like it's a big thing for guys. As long as you give him all those things, if you can be interested in whatever going to China, that doesn't he could care less, right? As long as he has those three things, you can do you, right?
you could
Essentially,
do you.
you can just do whatever you want as long as you give him those three things. He's fine, basically. And then
Exactly.
this another thing
And
too.
we're not saying that run crazy, right? Just because you put food on the table and you run wild, and then I'm seeing you on the news, you're doing all of this crazy stuff. That's not what we're saying. We're still saying you have to be responsible because you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, both of you have to be responsible to each other, right? But
Yeah,
he's not gonna be on you trying to say do only X, Y, and Z. He's gonna let you be who you want to be, and that's the best time for women to blossom when the man has his space, when he's not in your face, trying to, you guys are trying to who's the captain of this ship. Now, once you've established that, the man is sitting out there, you put his corn and granite, give him his remote control, put his drink, and then you upstairs and you're doing your own stuff. And you can just text him, baby, when are you coming up? I have something for you. And you see him running up like a little puppy. Like, maybe he has something for me. That is life. And that is a woman who has understood her environment.
So the key, women, is that you also have an obligation, is your duty is to then figure out the man that you're with. So ultimately, what the men have managed to say is, they have these things, but you still have to come and figure it out. So are we really getting to this answer? I don't know. And then another thing that one guy said that I thought was interesting was the men like to feel like a hero. You know, in other words, edified, glorified, you know. So if you're not making him feel like he's all that and a bag of chips, are you losing him?
You lose him because you're taking. There's nothing that a woman loses if she's not put out there as the hero. If your man is a kind of man like, see me, I'm a character, I'm a colorful person. My wife is always gonna be like, he did this, he did that. She's gonna cook. I'm gonna come take the video, stare it. You know, she don't mind. Those are irrelevant things for her. You understand? But some women, in particular, they're like, you're stealing my shine, and we're out there comparing whose shine is whose. And then there's a problem, right? Sooner or later. And I'm telling you, sit couples down, ask them the root of their problem. What we're seeing is the immediate effect, right? We're seeing the immediate problem. The problem has blown out of proportion. Ask them what started that problem. It's always something small, right?
Right.
And then they fed it. They kept giving it food. They kept feeding it. It blew up. It blew up. And it started by what? It was something, like I told you, separate your mind. The man came to have sex. You refused to give him the sex, right? The next day, again, repetition. Now you guys are sleeping back against each other. Nobody's talking to each other. It was a small problem. The next day, the man sleeps on the couch. You don't tell him, baby, come to bed, come sleep. Let's talk about this. By the time you want to talk about this, he doesn't want to talk about it. Or by the time the man wants to talk about it, the woman doesn't want to talk about it. So that little tiny problem has blown up and now it's out of control. And that's the immediate reaction that everybody is seeing. And they're like, these guys are irreconcilable. But when it was a remote problem, the remote cause,
and they did not de-escalate it at the right time.
They did not do it at the right time. And that's why I'm saying that it is half of the majority of the responsibility goes to the woman to be able to separate, right? Say, yes, I am mad at you, but ultimately I'm still your partner.
I think they say don't go to bed with your issues. The man should also feel responsible. Like if you feel like that woman is upset, you should also have know her soft buttons, know how to diffuse the problem. You should be able to tell that, maybe I know you're having a bad day, or maybe I know you're upset about something, but let's talk about this. You should be able to also get through to her. I know we're talking about you guys and how to feed your ego and how to communicate, all of that, but you should also be able to help to diffuse the problem so it doesn't trickle into 2, 3, 4 days. That's the power of you knowing your woman.
We need all of these talks, right? We need those men conferences that would help us. These things don't happen. There's no book that you read to understand that this is how it needs to happen. Usually, your guide is your home, where you grew up, your environment, your culture. You understand? There are cultures where it's okay for a man to beat a woman. There is nothing you would tell a woman from that culture that the love that the man shows her is how much he beats her, right?
Yeah, I know.
So that's a culture. So going to tell a woman in that culture something, she's going to look at you like you don't like her. You understand? So these conferences now help to say the world is changing. Things are changing, right? You cannot just for your stability, you cannot be putting your hand on another person in the name of love. But it takes another person like you talking to you. You have to be on the same page. So we need more conferences. We need more men talk. And I told Eureka if she's on the show. I don't know. I think she's on vacation.
I did share that with her. I said, the guy, you need to incorporate the challenges to incorporate the guys. I said, I feel women, we are having, we're starting to have more outlets. We're having these conversations. But the thing is, as women talking to other women, we are uplifting ourselves, empowering ourselves, but we are coming back to men who are not evolved. right?
Right.
So
Nobody has
if this
talked to
woman has
us.
evolved her mindset, she's thinking differently, she's evolved, she's viewing her relationship in one way, and then you're coming back to this man who don't we're not trying to be offensive here, but you're coming back to a man whose mind is still locked, who is still thinking one way, and short of saying inferior thoughts, you you cannot grow. So these
True.
beautiful things, the point of the conference, it was not really beneficial. So we really need men, and that's why we're having these conversations. I'm using my platform to also leverage some of these conversations because these are real things that are happening. We're just sick and tired of being sick and tired of the rate of these misunderstandings. Men constantly blaming the women, women constantly blaming the men. But I'm like, this is easy. Why don't we just come here and talk about these things and true talk each other, eyeball to eyeball and say, hey, you women, this is what you guys do that sucks that we don't like. And the women can say, guys, this is what you guys do that sucks and we think we can do better. And then where is the middle ground? How can we find that peaceful place? Because there must be a peaceful place. There must be a point where we say, you know what, I can take away this, I can let go this and progress this way. I think that if women, I know you talk about church not being important, or maybe it's not, you don't really have to physically go to church. But what church has done for a lot of women is giving them a sanctuary, a form of peace when you're coming home to somebody that is not resonating with you. You tend to find that refuge, which is a good shelter anyway, in many other ways, right? So it has done that for them. It coins their mind. But if more men went to church, they will find themselves in men's ministries, right? Where they also address some of these things. Men's ministries, they go on retreats and they talk about relationships. They go to marital couple events and do those things. So what is more powerful is that, and counseling. People have totally eliminated counseling. If a man is dating a chick, he proposes to her, the next thing they're planning a wedding, no counseling whatsoever. They haven't talked to anybody. How are you going there really prepared? You're not equipped, right? So there are so many other things that we're trying to fill in the gap through many other avenues. I'm just saying though, we have heard from Harry. Harry, what to you will be a winning deal that you're proposing to women today? Speak directly to the women and say, not only in terms of those 3 points, but some of the things that we've addressed today, what really are the selling points that if they take away would help them in either a relationship that they're already in or in one that is yet to come?
So two things, and that's a very, very, very important. That's like one of the best questions all night. Uh, Patience, right? Patience is like, I don't know. It's like a how do you home run, right? Exercise patience and communication. So there's
Mhm.
fire on the mountain, right? There's a problem at home. Don't throw fuel on the fire. Step back. My wife sent me a text the other day that there's no conversation. We're not having any divorce. If we have a problem, let's go to sleep. We'll talk about it tomorrow, right? So we're not gonna focus about divorce. Whatever problem that we have, sleep on it. We'll talk about it. It was something comical, right? It was something for laughs. The problem is not gonna go away tomorrow because you slept on it. But the problem she's saying is that I'm your ride or die, right? And I'm still texting you. We're still communicating in the midst of our problems. And that's why I'm saying that sometimes take a step back, right? Let that initial burst of energy, anger, calm down, right? And then you come back, you're like, okay, baby, I know that this is what happened. And there's some problems that are not gonna, you come in, you work on your husband cheating. Of course, it's hard to give you a solution on how to solve that, right? Yeah, your emotions are, and we're just talking about common domestic issues, right? Misunderstandings here and there and there. One of the most important thing is just for calm minds. As I say, calm minds prevails, right? You calm down. You say, okay, baby, I know that you're upset. Can we at least sleep on it? And we talk about it tomorrow. One of the things that I have a problem is immediately running to the church. You say it's a sanctuary. Maybe, maybe it's running away from your problem, right? You're not facing the problem and then you run into church. So the church now has put you in a bubble, right? And you're not
Emotional,
seeing
spiritual hospital.
Exactly, but you're not seeing your problem. And every time, like you said, when the women come back from all of this counseling, all of these seminars, they're more empowered, but they come and meet the same men they left to go for the conferences for, right? So you're empowered, you're rich with information, you want to change your relationship, but you're coming back to the same man that you left and nothing has changed, right? And he's still going to be a rock. He's still going to be that thing that you can't penetrate, right? But if he goes to his own counseling, so we have, I will sit with a few of my friends after the show. It's been an eye opener for me. I will sit with a few of my friends and see if we can set something up. Usually start small, but over time you would see that it has grown into some kind of conference where you have speakers come in and teach us how to be good husbands, right? People have examples where they're going to talk to you and say, this is one of the things I said is I had to learn that women work hard and I had to appreciate it, right? At the end of it, I'm still an African, right? There are things that I always saw my mom put food on my table. There's never a day that I was home and my dad's food was never on the table in his favorite dish. That's what I grew up seeing. And I would have to expect that, right? But then my reality in this country is not the same. You understand, right? My reality is to say my partner is not going to be like my mom. You understand? My partner is not gonna put my food and spoon feed me and put my water and all of that stuff. So, but bottom line, I'm asking women to employ more patience when they're faced with situation and try to understand who you are with, right? What moves them? What does not move them? Two people you might have dated. Your last boyfriend might have been outgoing party, and that's what you like, right? And you guys were having fun, you were going to the club, and that was the life that you liked, but something went wrong and it didn't work out. And then you fell in love with this guy who does not go out that much. You understand? You have to make the adjustments because you decided to be in that relationship. And if that relationship is not working for you, then you go out. That's door. You understand? So understand who you are with. Am I compatible with this person? Do I see? I used to say this on the Pillow Talk show. Men don't marry women, beautiful or all that stuff. Men marry the BS they can support. So men look at 10 women and they're like, your BS, I can't do it. Your own BS, no. Your BS, yeah, I could totally support your BS. And that's the woman he's gonna marry.
So you have to show all your facets then, so the man can quickly determine that based on everything I've observed, I think I can handle this.
Is that a perfect scenario? No, he has seen them through the courtship, right? He has seen these things through the courtship, right? You see those things. That there are things that you do that subconsciously you don't even know that I have seen it, and I'm like, okay, that's not gonna work. And I'm just gonna be like, okay, it's not gonna work for me. I don't need to tell you to change, right? I just feel like, nah, You understand? I could something really small, but that might just be it for me. And we're still there. We're dating. Oh, I'm not gonna break up. Maybe the sex is good. I don't want to lose it immediately. So right now it's for my own benefit. I'm in there having my fun, but at some point,
that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't give you can't give all of it just like that, man. Anyway,
it's life. It's life. It's life. Yes. But back to her question: patience and communication trumps everything. You understand? Most of our relationships is lack of communication.
Right.
You understand? If your partner is not your best friend, there's a problem. There's a problem. You're coming to a stranger every day. Your partner has to be your best friend, your gossip partner on certain issues.
You know, there's this thing that says, women, you're expecting your partner to be many things, right? And sometimes it's difficult. So wanting your partner to be your best friend, to be your lover, to be all of those things can be too heavy for one person. You just said earlier about, this is where you have your girlfriend.
Your girlfriends are not necessarily your best friends. They're your girlfriends, right? That's why you have a few of them, right? You might have your best friend, that's a girl. that you guys just talk every now and then, right? That's why when you look at the brighter train, the maid of honor is somebody, they're like, the other girls are like, how come you didn't pick me? The ones you're always hanging with and stuff, it's just somebody that you have a connection, a spatial bond with, right? Your best friend.
Right.
Your best friend is not one of those your friends that you go clubbing, you guys make noise with. Those are just like your partners, your associates and stuff, right? But your the person you lay with every night should be your best friend because that's the last person you usually see. That's the
Mm-hmm.
person that
Hopefully.
you submit to. We all submit, right? That's the person you submit to at night. Say, I'm going to bed right now. I'm going to bed with you, right? And that should be
Ooh.
your best friend, right? So
So before you run, submission. Is submission big for men?
everybody submits.
Do you want a woman who submits? I know you say everybody submits, bro, but that submission is a big word now. You know it's a big word.
No, no,
And
no. The thing is that we
people
have,
understand it differently.
and that's the problem, right?
African men's way of submission is completely different from
And they submit every day. You eat the woman's food. That is submission. You have submitted to eat her food, right?
Mhm.
You go down to eat her hoo her. That is submission, right? So, so this you submit every day. Men submit. The thing is that they don't just want to accept that I'm going to submit to a woman because we see submission as something bad, right? But submission is little things that we do every day. Your boss tells you to do something, you've submitted. Somebody tells you do this thing for me. If you accept, you've submitted to that person. You're doing something that they've asked you to do, whether they're a friend or if your daughter says, Daddy, do this for me. Once you do that stuff, you have submitted to your daughter or your
Mhm.
son, right? But the thing is that we have put submission into a bad category where we think that once I accept to submit, I'm inferior. I'm less of a person if I submit to my woman. But we submit every day. Now, there's some submissions that I'm not going to do. Like, for example, a woman is just going to wake up and give you her handbag to carry. And you're like, Jesus.
You ain't finna do that.
Now, I could take your handbag by myself and carry it.
Oh, so not so her giving it
No,
to
no, no.
you,
If she's
you have
like,
a problem, but you would rather
if
do
she's like,
it voluntarily.
yeah, if she's like, baby, I beg, hold my back, my wear my shoe, I would take it. But if she gives me like, hold my back, I've seen it. I've seen men just the woman is like, yeah,
Anybody
take
who
my
talks to
back.
them like that, they would do it. If you talk to
I,
anybody
I've
with a
seen
good tonality,
I've seen brothers do it and then they walk behind the woman and I'm like, how bad is this situation? Like you carry the bag and you're like following the woman like, okay, that is the submission that people are talking about. When people see that, then they frown. But usually we all submit.
Nick says so. Going downtown as submission too.
Oh no, not total submission. Total, you have given up
You're
everything. You're like,
submitting to downtown.
yeah, especially when she's doing this to your head. That is the height of all the submission, right? So
Yeah, you went literal on that one. Like go further.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that's a strong woman, right? That's a strong woman that knows what she wants. And we want more of our African sisters to get to that point. So
I love that. I had two questions for you before you go. I know sex was one of the key things that you talked about, and is the resounding. Men have echoed that over and over. So we understand that, tops is part of your priority list. But, sex varies, right? So if you just give it to the guy, I know then there's a variation to that, right? So just being like, what is it? What is that? The most pious style where you just
missionary.
lay down missionary. Let's say so. If you're just missionary, I think at some point what the guys are really not saying is that yes, they want that, but they also want every more. They want you to be more like a vixen, a tigress, almost like be this holy, perfect woman. But then I want you to be this mysterious character when we get into the room. I think
Yeah,
that's
we say be a lady on the streets and a freak in the shits, right? That's what we say, right? So missionaries for the first day. We're all getting to know each other. We're not trying to
you said
show
missionary
us.
for the first day.
So it's for the first day, right? We're not trying to scare nobody, right? You don't want to overdo. You don't because somebody might be like, this is too much for me, or I cannot just. So first day, everybody's formal. You're
They're
eating
testing
with
the
your
waters.
cutlers. Yeah, you're testing. So your missionary is good. It's a friendly atmosphere. Nobody's judgmental. And then and we're getting to know each other. There's no need to rush, right? So missionary is you high, you shake your hands, you friendly turf. And as time goes by, right, missionary should not even appear. It should not be even in the equation. It should
It should
we
not
should
be in the
we should
equation.
it should not even be in the equation, right? We should have a manual, a Kama Sutra manual right now that we're going through. We're like, okay, we're on page 36 today. I think we should go to page 38 and see what's in there, and that's it, right?
You do realize that if these conversations are not hard early on in that relationship, it becomes a problem, right? You said Kama
Exactly.
Sutra manual. You know how many people, bro, please talk to your other brothers. There's some people that is even like so foreign to them that they can't even conceive incorporating or introducing that kind of dialogue into their relationships. So I
So
feel
those
like there's a lot of evolution that has to take place. If you meet a partner that you are at the same level, great. You may just peak together, like get the best of each other. But if you meet someone that is not evolved like that, it could really be a true problem down the road where one
and
person thinks,
one of the beautiful things about a relationship is that you guys want to learn, right? Some of the best relationships are when you guys have an open mind. You're innocent and you're learning new things, right? When
mm-hmm.
when you meet somebody who is far advanced, there's usually that disparity, right? There's usually that complex. Am I, for example, a woman who has experience who is more sexually advanced than a man who is relatively naive, right? And the woman is
Wouldn't
trying to
the man
do
appreciate that though?
who?
Wouldn't the man appreciate the fact that she has all that experience?
Not an African man. Maybe another culture, a man would feel like if she's doing all of this stuff, there are chances that maybe if I'm not satisfying her, then she's probably going to get it from someplace else, right?
So he's
So,
gonna feel
and that
intimidated.
those are his insecurities that he's wrestling
Yeah.
with because of his naivete in that domain. So it also takes for the woman to bring him to her level, right?
Up
If
to
you're
par.
again, if for example, if your man is not satisfying you sexually, and when he goes to sleep and you take a dildo and satisfy yourself, you're cheating on your man. He's unaware of what you're doing, so you're cheating on your man without another partner.
Treize, Quartoze. You're
No,
cheating
no, no,
on
that's the doctor. Yeah, I told you it's the new gospel. I told you it's the gospel.
my God. So isn't that the equivalent of if you were to go take care of yourself in the bathroom, you use soap and whatever, and
Same
had
thing.
around
Same
yourself,
thing.
so
If
you
you
are equally cheating on your spouse or your partner.
Yes, if you don't tell her that this is what I'm finna do, then you are cheating because you're pleasuring yourself without her knowledge and without her being present, right? So you're having some kind of emotional pleasure or sexual pleasure, gratification without her. Isn't that what it is with the other person? The only thing is that that person is physically there.
Right, but then in this case, you are not using another individual. You're doing it by
The
yourself.
individual is
So,
not the
so you
problem. The
consider that
act is the problem.
right. So, but you're saying that is what is a kind of cheating. It's an
It is
emotional kind
cheating,
of
not
cheating.
even it is. The individual, the person you're cheating with is never the problem. It's the fact that you cheated, right? If you cheat
It's
with a
the fact
random
that
stranger,
you
the woman is not mad that you're cheating with that woman. The woman is mad that you cheated on me. So take
right.
that woman out and bring in a toy. Bring in does that change the fact that you cheated? As long as she doesn't give you her consent. If a woman tells you that you have a hall pass, go out there, it's your 40th birthday, have fun with any other woman. And you're in Vegas and you're partying and somebody sees you having sex and then they run and tell your wife, we saw your husband having sex, right? But she's like, yeah, I gave him permission to have it. It's not cheating,
Okay,
right?
so hold
Because
up.
she
So
gave you.
no, she gave you permission. The permission included you having sex with another woman,
No, I'm saying
or
that she specifically said, "Go. You have a hall pass to do whatever you want to do."
oh, okay,
Right? She gave you
cool.
a hall pass, something that is rare, but we're using that scenario that she says it's your 45th birthday. Go do you. Do whatever you want to do. You have one day,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So you
And
go
then
wild.
somebody sees you, and then they don't know that you had permission, and then they
Mm-hmm.
come back. I mean, there are couples out within our community that have open relationships. Do you know that?
Okay,
But they
I didn't
don't
know that.
tell you.
I didn't know that people had gone to that level though, that they're that
Of
advanced.
course. I mean,
Okay.
we have we're
I mean, I can
accepting of.
understand if let's say a man had ED. If let's say you have a man who is suffering from ED, he could say, okay, this is a lifelong condition, so maybe you can go take care of yourself somewhere else. I don't
No,
know.
we're
I'm
le
just
we're learning. We're gravitating to our new home, right? We're learning new things in our new
yeah,
homes,
just saying
right?
like yeah, ED for somebody who doesn't know erectile dysfunction. If a guy had it, I can see
Yeah,
how
but
you can tell the woman.
take that condition out. Take a perfectly functioning human being. I'm saying that, right? If a woman has a dildo that she wants to utilize and have fun and stuff, the man should be in the know.
Oh, okay. So if they incorporate it, in other words, they're using toys in their relationship, and the
Yes.
guy is participating in that act, it's not considered cheating.
No, yes,
They're
and if she wants to use it at any point in time when he's not there, right? Say he he went out, or he's sleeping. Like I said, he didn't satisfy you,
oh, he's out
right?
of town.
You're not satisfied. He's out of town or something, right? You'd be like, baby, hey, I know you're not here, but I'm about to catch me some fun. And he's like, all right, baby, do you, right? Have fun. That is not cheating. Because guess what? Sooner or later, you're going to be dependent on that stuff if it satisfies your needs, right? And you're going to drift slowly from the other person. That's just the way things are, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have basic sex to fulfill your need with this person, but then you're going to have satisfactory sex with this instrument, right?
Okay.
Because it gives you all the realizations that you want to have, right? And if the man does not know, he comes and he finds it, that is absolutely cheating. You are emotionally attached and adrift from him to something else. It's just not a human being. So the human being is not the factor. The action
Right.
is the factor.
Okay. So it's the same like flirting with someone, online. You are not actually, or just talking to someone extended period. So you guys are not actually physically going on a date, but you're entertaining maybe chats or you're entertaining talks and conversations. So
Exactly.
it's a kind of emotional infidelity.
It
It's
is
not physical, as in you guys have not gone on the dates, but you're having phone calls. They're meeting a need that the other person is not doing.
right. So you guys are you're cheating on an emotional level, right? You're texting back and forth, you're flirting, you're spending a reasonable amount of time with this person. So you're cheating emotionally. You're just not cheating physically. This one with this toy, you're cheating physically
Mm.
and
So, all
almost
right, guys,
emotionally, depending on
ladies.
if how attached you are to it. If you're taking it to work, if it's in your car, if it's
Oh,
everywhere,
come on.
if
You're
on
taking
your
it to work.
break.
Who takes a dealer to work? Are you serious right now?
There's the little one that looks like a tampon. You see a woman at work, she's galloping, and you know it's that time of the day. I mean,
Harry Ford. Seriously, though. I don't know who in their right mind will take something like that to work. I mean, is it that
you'll
serious
be
at home?
you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised
No.
what people do.
Okay, I mean, please, I hope anybody in the audience, I hope you're not one of those crazy ones who actually carries your toys
Don't
to work.
judge people. Don't say they're
No, I'm
crazy.
just
Don't
saying that I
judge
hope
them.
they're not taking their toys to work. Like you can play with it at home. I mean, do what I'm just saying though. There are parameters where you can you can do that safely.
Harriet says she doesn't agree with me. Dildo no be cheating. In troubled times. Again, Harriet, uh, put it into context. If you if you turn to this thing when the man is not there, I mean, how is that not cheating? If you turn to me when your husband is not there, is that cheating, right?
Yes.
Are we saying that cheating is the person and not the action? Is that what we're saying?
No, it's a combination of both. I absolutely believe that, but I didn't think, you wouldn't have thought that, saying that you resolve to it by yourself means that it's cheating. But when you clarify that, it actually makes sense. It's like watching, or it's like watching porn, and by yourself, right, and being aroused by it. If you're watching porn and being aroused, and you have a significant other, and they don't know that that's what you're doing, it's still a form of cheating because porn has destroyed relationships
Exactly.
because it's a form of an
Gambling has
addiction.
destroyed. Yeah, let's not even forget gambling causes money to, yeah, porn, something as simple as that has destroyed. A lot of women have left their marriages because the men became addicted to porn, right? It
Right,
was an emotional attachment to something, right? If
right.
you're, again, people have lost their marriages over church. Somebody got too connected with the church. They became emotionally attached. It was the church or nothing. I don't see my wife. She is at church after church. She's attending this service. She's attending this union. She goes to church at 6, comes back at 10 p.m. At night. I don't see her. I never see her. And then at some point we disconnect. That is an emotional attachment to the church, right? So once you're emotional, we're not going to say that it's cheating, but deal. If the person is in the
Like
know,
the
if he
sports
knows that
too.
you have
Every
this and
time,
you're using
every
it,
day, every day the guy is going to a circuit 3, 4, 5 days a week. That's also cheating. You're
it,
gone
it,
permanently.
it, it's not cheating. It is an emotional attachment to something that is negative, right? And it's a problem. It's like being attached to the church, being attached to anything, right? If you're too attached, you're attached to your work. People have lost their relationship because the person is too attached to their
Yeah,
job, right?
workaholics. Right?
Right. So if the sequel is, if you leave work at 5 p.m., you stop at the sequel, you come back at 2 a.m. every day, we're not in a marriage. That's not a
Mhm.
marriage. That's what your
Right.
complaint you talked about at the start. So there's a problem in that union because this is you like the sequel, so you're married to the sequel. So spend time with the sequel. I'm out of this marriage, right? But
Right.
cheating in the essence, right, is that feeling, like we said, there's the emotional cheating where you're flirting with somebody, you're exchanging texts, you guys are spending all of this time. So you've not had sex, you've not kissed, you've not met this person, but you've cheated emotionally, right? And if
You
you
have.
can cheat emotionally, you can cheat physically. Physically is actually just having that penetration, the person gets into you or you into the person, right? But now
Right.
take because now we've advanced and we have machines. We have the human dolls, not the human dolls, the dolls that the men can use, right? Say if you walk in and your man is pleasuring himself with that doll, you're gonna be like, that's okay.
So,
Okay,
some wrong
so if
guy.
that's not okay, why is the other one okay, right?
You're right. I mean, you make a valid point. I think that so basically, what most men are saying is they're fine with you having your toys. You, the man, you can have your toys, you can do whatever, but your partners just need to be. It just needs to be open, transparent. Don't
Exactly. We should be
do
in
what
the
they want
know.
to do, but they need to know. Some people don't incorporate that in their relationships. Some do. For those who do, then let that be the case. Make it transparent.
That's them. So you could have your toys. The man be like, no, keep your toys for yourself. When I'm here, I'm the man, I'm the toy. Play with me. Don't bring out your toys. Play with this toy, right? And
Right.
when I'm gone, if you want to do whatever you want to do it. But we're talking about that the small minority of people that hide. Anything that you hide is not good. I mean, except that bank account for the interest of the family.
Right. So we've agreed that there's one thing that you can hide, which is that safety net financially. You know what,
Yes.
Trev, you have had a brilliant, I mean, the audience is like raving, the comments and everything that we're seeing. I had one last question. I said I had two. My last question was emotional support. Do men appreciate women when you're going through, let's say, an emotional crisis? Do you like to bring it? Do you like the woman to latch on, or give you emotional support? And by emotional support, I just mean like some men turn to their guys when they have emotional crisis, and then it frustrates the women because they feel like, that's what I'm here for. I think you should have, come to me and stuff like that. Is that a big thing for men? Do men appreciate women giving them emotional support? Some men consider it like she's trying to mother me, like playing the role of your mama versus wife.
And so the reason with the guys is that the guy is not gonna judge you, right? He first of all he has been there through the whole thing. It just didn't happen here. And that's because, first of all, you and that guy, you were not best of friends. Remember, we talked about the best of friends relationship where if he's your best friend or she's your best friend, you already know what he is going through, right? So when you're mad that he's not turning to you, is because you guys are not close. So you're just finding out this problem now and you're trying to solve it, right? But then the best friend that is the guy has been in the know all of this time. So it's easier for him to just be like, Bo Masa, I need this help. And the guy comes through because you turn only to the person that is because we don't want to be judged. We're very egocentric. Our emotions are we're very sensitive people,
You,
right?
you
So we
see
don't
that
want
men have soft emotions.
men have soft emotions, and I'm a strong advocate for men to cry. I hate that thing that they tell men not to cry. Why?
Really, Quartoze.
Yes,
You
I
tell
am.
men to cry.
Yes, men. Listen. Men suffer from abuse and they don't tell people about it because the society says you need to man up.
Mhm.
You need to be a man. You need to hold your crutch in your hand and lift your chest up. That is total BS, right? I'm a proponent for to be a soft man. There's nothing wrong in that, right? To be in touch with your feelings.
Sorry, I'm smiling, but
Yes, a man would be having sex with his wife, and the wife, the sex is so good, and he cannot even express his true feelings.
and he
He's
cries.
just not cry, but he cannot like express himself like scream or something, right? Not cry. That
No,
that would be
you should be able to feel that free. Sorry, I mean, if you are
yeah,
in that zone and you can't feel free with your emotions, there's a problem. Means
exactly.
you're
But
you're, you're restraining yourself too that much.
we're told to be that ape like kind of man, tough, macho, be strong. But but back to your question. I think that it's okay, right? That a woman should come to your rescue. A woman should be able to, but it starts from how we communicated from before, right? And I
Right.
need to trust you. I don't want you to give me help and then I'm hearing it every 2 seconds. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be whatever you are today, blah, blah, blah. And there's that inclination that you could throw that out. So I'm not gonna come to you if I'm gonna hear all of this stuff, right? So
Right.
it's a trust factor. And if I don't feel like I have it with you because we don't communicate before, remember, people always see the immediate, but before the immediate, there's the remote,
Hmm.
right? What is our relationship like? We might go to bed the same time, but we don't talk about our issues. We
Right.
don't talk about my I don't you don't even ask me how was your day at work. You don't know the problems I have at work. You don't know if I'm fighting with my boss. There are some people that might have lost their jobs even 6 months. The wife doesn't even know.
Hey. Yeah,
Of
that's
course,
that's terrible. Yeah,
yeah.
I know people like that
So
though.
there are women that the very first day that your boss has an issue with you, you're right at work, you're like, baby, my boss is stressing me. I'm about to just go crazy. And she's like, no, baby, calm down. So she's with you every step of the way,
From
right?
witnessing the
Yeah.
journey, the
So
progression of
when
the
when
journey.
whenever there is a problem, she's just like, okay, baby, this thing has happened. Let's do X, Y, and Z. First of all, you never even liked that job. How about we get that food truck? How about we do this? You have always talked about writing a novel. This is your opportunity to live that dream. That is that support that we're talking about. But that support that comes in at the last minute, a man is always going to be reserved because if I take it, are these strings attached? Are you tying me down to something? Are you trying to hook me onto something, right? But I will go
Right.
to my friend because my friend has
And
been
the
with me
no.
along. Yeah. So it starts from somewhere, not at the last part where you're just trying to provide the support.
All right. So thank you so much. I don't want to overextend this thing. I didn't know. I mean, I think we have done what, 2 hours? Is it an hour?
Over 2.5.
Jesus Christ, man. I need to release you. This was like a hot topic, but I'm glad that the audience stayed on and watched. I know tomorrow is a work day. So, Harry, thank you so much for not only coming on the show, but for also just being open and transparent. I believe that people who would watch this episode have a lot to learn. And I think that you and I have picked up some openings, some things that, we can develop on and, just to go further and help. There are lessons to be learned. I think for our community, men just need another bigger outlet, a more structured outlet for education and impartation on things that, could help to improve, emotionally and build the household. I think that relationally wise, the statistics are too bad, but it can be improved. There's a lot of room for improvement. And if you're a woman who was watching today, who tuned in, and for those of you who will watch later on, I hope you learned something from the guys. What I remember is said the three main things: the Bible, the new, what was it?
The
The,
gospel, the New Testament.
the relationship gospel, the New Testament. According to Harry, what the men really desire, we asked them a question. We got tired of trying to figure it out for ourselves. And so we asked them, what do men really want? He said three things: food, sex, and leave them alone. But there's an explanation to that. Leave them alone will depend on your man. So remember that even though this is standard, every man is still slightly different, you know, so learn how to play to the tune of your own music. So figure out your man. So the obligation was transferred back to us, the women, to say you still need to figure out the man that you are with. I'm just trying to help to summarize. So if you don't, you have the power ultimately, much as he wants all these things, you have the power, you the woman, you have the power to figure out the man that I am with. And if you can master the power in you, then this is no longer a problem for your relationship. But as much as possible, befriend your man, be a good friend. Learn how to be friends first. That builds trust, and then that builds loyalty over time. So that down the road, you have someone that can openly confide. Men will not confide in you if they didn't see that you were a friend, right? So be a friend in the beginning. Be patient. Be patient. Have your other account for a rainy day. Recommendations, right? Have your other account. And yes, men also have a soft spot. Don't think that they're all macho. Allow him to feel vulnerable. Allow him to feel emotional if he needs to be. If he can't be emotional with you, guess what? He's going to find an outlet. And that outlet will not be you. All right. So, Harry, final words that you have to say before we exit tonight.
I think we've said everything. Thank you for having me on. One of the most important thing, like I said, is it's understanding that we men need this outlet. I'm going to talk to a few of my friends to see how we can do, because, like you said, the women go, they develop, they build, and then they come back to us, and we're still the same couch potato that we are. Once they go, we need to go for our own retreat and learn to be a productive member of a family and be the better version of us, the better version that we can be. There's more to a relationship. I learn every day because of the person that I have. That's my partner. She guides me. She shows me a lot of things. So it makes me it. A lot of people might think that I'm this crazy person, but when I come back home, there's a different whole person in this household that works, and that's usually because um, she lets me be who I need to be without judging me, without putting me in a box or anything. And I still have reservation because I cannot go too far because I have somebody that I also need to protect and support. So um, it's a learning process. There's no defined, there's no book. What do men want? That would be a good book, but there's no book that solves that problem.
All
Uh,
right.
we're gonna keep working to make women happy. We're gonna keep working. I know Bole Kane just wrote the last comment that no matter what you do, the man is still going to still stray. Uh, uh, those scenarios happen, right? Those scenarios
Not
happen, but
always
I'm
straight
gonna
though.
true. Don't give up. That was just not the one for you. Unfortunately, you would still meet another one, and you still need to give him all of those things, right? That one was not the one that was supposed to be for you, and it's a learning experience for you. Don't have your man and then deprive him and then it's a problem, right? So it's a learning experience for everybody, for women, for us, and hope we can take from here and be better husbands, boyfriends, fathers, and responsible members of society at large.
Thank you so much. I mean, I know, given that Bola talked about strength, I guess when men cheat, they expect to be forgiven. When women cheat, men don't expect them to require forgiveness. Right? That's another. That's,
That's a whole other topic
that's a
that
whole other topic.
we'll
And
have
we're
to
going
start.
to take that on another different day when we're talking about cheating. This topic is truly endless, but we thank you so much for the dedication, for your time and everything. Guys, to all of you who tuned in, thank you so much for joining in. I personally always like to sign up. So there's a high demand to request you to return on the show. You know we're going to request you to come back when we have the follow suit, okay? So anyway, thank you so much for your time. Say hi to Wifey, by the way. She's doing a
I'll
damn
pass
good
on the
job. She's
message.
one of those women who figured out the puzzle and those buttons. So kudos to her. And so, guys, I want to thank you so much. I always like to say, if no one has told you that I love you, guess who loves you? It's your girl, Diane, and I love you passionately with the love of God. Go out and make your relationships great. All right? Enjoy them. Bye. Ciao. Hope you learned something. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.